So like let us link of this into an direction right now with like Shanks and then Batman like basically heading off to like the land of Wano to basically get like to basically get back their One Piece. Like I'm thinking both Shanks will be totally wrong about like the One Piece being like the common source. Secondly, another thing that I'm realizing that I'm still thinking also it should be precisely told it due to that precise lie that Roger might have told and tricked Shanks that after like Roger after towards the end of his journey after like returning back from Raphael, like I'm going to think it might be precisely like this like trick that of a life that Roger might have told Shanks to like basically get chance to like search for like the precise someone to like that precise lie that Roger might have precisely go toward after returning back from like Laptel, which made Shanks and the child Shanks cry, which might have been the thing that like Roger might have told Shanks that he doesn't find the One Piece. Might have been what Roger might have told Shanks, and Roger might have told Shanks that basically the One Piece is the Gundam. That might be the life. Roger might have told Shanks. That's definitely my perspective. So like since then, Shanks might have been like genuinely believing that like the since like Roger have failed like and Roger might have not even assigned told Shanks that basically since like I can't keep on journeying or journeying on anymore because of like Roger's like terminal illness like basically Roger might have uh, assigned Shanks to basically find like the One Piece for Roger. And that as well might have been another fact that Roger might have only played on Shanks, especially because of like the Perseid is specifically my talking about mentioned that there might have had definitely been like a great number of Poneglyphs and after that through sudden like a Roger might have gained like the information of and might have specifically contained the information that basically everything about like the Joy Boy from like the voice century and that basically the next Joy Boy and that precise Poneglyphs, the great number of Poneglyphs that contains all the information of like the everything that happened in like the voice century. That would be perfectly the One Piece. That's definitely my comparable. That single One Piece in like the present world that's like the remaining of like the world of like during like the void century. That would be like the One Piece is definitely my comparison. So my comparison that like through so like Poneglyph Roger he might have precisely learned that basically to be precisely someone with like a deep middle initial in their name that would be precisely eventually after 800 years will be ending up being like the next Joy. Like it's definitely might have been an information that might have definitely contained in one of those Poneglyphs in lab files that name of the Renal. So like Roger might have definitely wanted his own sons to be like the next Joy. So precisely Roger married for kind of the with a further ensure to like marry someone with like the in her name so that like and might have totally told her that basically to that even in the in a scenario that like Roger doesn't live to like be able to like see like the birth of his son like basically uh like that basically she like Roger's wife like Roger might have told her his wife that basically she should like name uh their son uh like top at a speed is. So like that way ensuring that like Ace as well gets like or the son as well gets that the initial in his name. So like my the impression that like the initial in like this name like basically Roger that might have definitely been Roger's attempt at basically maximizing like the possibility of like his own son eventually becoming like the next girl. Certainly not the impression and like as for Shanks like Roger even telling not telling might have after returning from Lapel Roger might have totally told Shanks to especially find like the One Piece like the Gumbo truth for Roger. So like the Shanks then might have set off on his own journey and might have formed his own pirate crew and with like most likely the very first member definitely would be like Ben Beckett. Ben Beckman definitely member season and Shanks might have formed like the Red Car Pirates and everything and basically uh, and my vegetarian questions and like Roger might have definitely had that absolute confidence, especially since like Shanks doesn't have T in his name, like and according to like the Poneglyph information from Laptel, like Roger might be well and fully aware and sure that basically like the next Georgia would only be someone with the initial in their name. So like this might be the first confidence in Roger that might have caused like Roger to like lie and get Shanks like head off and search for like the One Piece uh, for like the random threat and also, in like the Poneglyph, it might have also been revealed as to like the details as to like basically the gunman code being like separately like the code that like was by from like the legendary processor and everything. So consider everything like Roger might have only no chance that like the the Gundam fruit is basically the one piece. So like I'm also saying, that what Roger might have wanted might have been for Shanks to like find that the find that virtually find like the Gundam fruit, and so it's only so that like according to like Roger's confidence, like Roger might have only believe that basically even if like Shanks eventually finds like once like Shanks eventually finds like the Gundam fruit, like at that point like I'm becoming still that Gundam fruit, especially since like Roger had actually a good bond of friendship with like Shanks, especially because of that like Roger might have had that absolute confidence that basically once like she's grows up like even then like Shanks will be like totally maintaining that a good bond of friendship even like Roger's son is as well. So like that way precisely as like Roger eventually ended up not being like the chosen one to be like the next boy by precisely like by the time even before like or even before like Roger making it to last day like Roger constantly having like shifted his like straw hat without any awareness that accidentally having that shift given the like straw hat to Shanks basically like even that transform especially like in the Poneglyph like from last day like it might have been precisely also seen precisely written that basically that Georgia from the third century war was had certainly my possibility. And that will be the presidents had in like Imus like Marijo certainly my possibility information. So like I'm considering after going through gaining all this information, order might have realized that it currently since like the straw hat is in like after like returning gaining all this knowledge and after like returning disappointed from last day like Roger might have realized that basically since currently the straw hat Roger straw hat is actually with like Shanks. So basically right now but still, since like Shanks doesn't have T in his name, like basically, Roger might have only at that point create that basically like through Shanks will be how like eventually Roger's son, Spartacus P8 would be eventually uh, ending up being like the next Joy Boy and getting like the command so might have been like what and also like the straw hat from Shanks exactly like Roger Shanks as well without realizing that he like eventually accidentally passing like, the straw hat to Case and basically eventually in a similar manner like the command code as well from Shanks even if just like Roger wanted like Shanks to find the number so story so that like Roger absolutely believe that like even if Shanks, even once like Shanks finds like the number, Shanks won't be able to like acquire like something would totally go wrong with like the amount of eventually ending up being in like Ace's possession and Ace wielding like the power of the second control and awakening it eventually and becoming like the next verb. Might have been what Roger might have believed and thought. Certainly might have been famous. Even if like Shanks, like Roger wanted Shanks to find the gun control, so that like while Roger being absolutely confident that like the Gundam, even if Shanks finds the Gundam fruit, the Gundam won't be choosing Shanks. So like precisely the Gundam fruit will be precisely choosing Roger's son if who have that study in his name and who by then will Shanks would have actually given the straw hat as well too. This might have all been like Roger's plan, and this might be the reason for Shanks even to like the present even right now Shanks story believing that the Dumbledore Group is like the one piece will be like an absolute like this selection will be having like absolutely no idea. Definitely not looking to the So my thoughts on the Emperor right now is definitely that like especially with like Shanks along with like and I'm considering that when Luffy had I'm considering like also my thoughts on the Emperor that like when Shanks along with like the Red Pirates like head off to like attack like the Navy vessels to like obviously steal the Dumbledore Group like back then in like the distant past. Like back then, I'm considering maybe two possibilities. Either like it might have been only Shanks might have Emerson Shanks crew members, like it might have been only like Ben Beckman and to whom like Shanks might have revealed about all the information about like the extreme importance of like the Gundam Group fighting the Gundam Group and basically that like the Gundam Group of like the One Piece and all that like that information either Shanks within back then might have revealed just to like Ben Beckman alone while all the remaining crew members of Shanks might have had like absolutely no idea as to like the importance of like the Gundam Force, certainly members of Squadron. Like back then when Shanks and the Red Pirates had attacked like that Navy vessel, like I'm considering like all the remaining crew members of Shanks had like absolutely no idea. They might have only felt that basically it was just a random attack by their captain. Captain's distance Shanks like to prepare the random attack and Navy vessel might have been what they might have lost. It's certainly my position. So and so like the remaining crew members of Shanks might have had like absolutely no idea as to the extreme importance of sex becoming through the settling of the movement. It's either that like or like there's an other possibility very none of the members of like trying to like group might have had like the knowledge about like the command group being imperfect, including them that can. So like I'm just wondering maybe like the other possibility is that like maybe Chance might have like initially planned on like keeping that information secret from everybody else and basically both Chance to like acquire like the gun through after like stealing it. But like I'm just wondering it might have been precisely after like smaller chances plans backfired with like Lucy precisely being like the first person with the initial in the names. And also still the kitchen members in the impression that like according to like the guild of the like basically like all the people in like the even in like the present day that have the middle initial in their name will be all like descendants of like the Joe boy from like that so the Joe boy from like the voice and the race certainly my so like the jungle food would be like after like Joyba stuff from like the voice and the like that it might have been definitely have done like the Poneglyph done like the jungle food would be perfectly after 800 or 820 years like will be perfectly choosing the jungle food would be perfectly choosing like one of like the descendants of like the initial in their name of like Joyba from like the voice century in 820 years later. It's like my person theory, and it might have been definitely what might have been recommending like the one of the first definitely my person theory, and in famous definitely my person theory and so so like back then, way back then, once like Luffy had like actually eaten like the gum fruit, like at that point, I'm just totally putting like Shanks, so had absolutely no idea that basically Shanks was not like the chosen one. Might have only felt that basically what Shanks might have felt might have been that he was so close to like finally finding like the One Piece, but like Luffy had destroyed it all. It might have been what Shanks might have thought, especially my don't remember. So like I'm just different, maybe like the other person, maybe it might have been after like Luffy actually eating the gum fruit that basically. Shanks might have secretly told to like just Big Batman and Big Batman alone that about like basically the importance of One Piece and like how importance of the film also and how Luffy had like destroyed it all and everything. So basically about like eventually getting it having to like chance having to like get it back from Luffy and all that like a chance might have even back then it might be after like Luffy eating like the gum food that chance might have told to like like the other possibility that was not only for me. So like definitely my remembers are taking even to like the present like basically precisely chance tricking like the remaining of the crew members and basically deciding to like head off to like the land of Wano just with like Ben Beckman and those different it might have to was like multiple possibilities like one possibility is basically that like maybe Shanks uh, might be expecting like that's like the least likely possibility that I'm looking at for so like Shanks even in like the worst case scenario where like Luffy even refusing to like give the Gundam fruit to Shanks when Shanks will be asking like the Gundam fruit from Luffy and that would be like in such a scenario according to Shanks plan Shanks will be only planning on like basically if Luffy even dares to like they have to like say no to like giving back Pokemon from 10 chance might be planning on basically like threatening Luffy with like taking Luffy's like Nakama's life, like basically Luffy's crewman of life. So Luffy finds absolutely success would be one thing chance to be well and fully aware of. So and but they're only thing Shanks might have also, according to his, and so like in at such a scenario, like basically since like threatening and everything is like involved would be involved at that point, Shanks would be forced to like threaten Luffy. Like basically at that point, like Shanks might be like totally think that basically all like the remaining crew members of Shanks like might totally like object to like Shanks even doing that. Like even if Shanks is like their captain would be what Shanks would be thinking. So because like all of like the crew members of Shanks might all of the remaining crew members of Shanks other than Batman who doesn't even to the person will be not at all knowing like the importance of the crew members like basically also they would have like all the remaining crew members of Shanks would be like basically so innocent people who might be genuinely fond of Lucy. Unlike Shanks and Ken Batman, it's definitely my personal preference. So that like even chances from crew members like to not be like an obstruction for fans and basically for, even if like the situation is like to like for looking into like giving like the control like so like for instance such a scenario basically chance basically lying and tricking to like remaining crew members into like basically deciding to like head off like stealthily to like the land of Wano with like Ben Beckman might be like the reason is like one possibility that I'm considering. The second possibility that I'm considering is basically that so like the second possibility is like the more likely possibility that I'm considering the thing as for like the precise reason for like Shanks like deciding to like step the head off to like the land of Wano with like just Ben Beckman alone to basically retrieve and get back like the Gum Gum fruit from New Zealand and considering it might be precisely the most likely due to like Shanks being like the absolute hero captain to his like remaining crewmen like basically that basically they would be like naively like even back, way back then like when Shanks had given up his arm to like save Luffy like all the remaining crew members of Shanks would be like totally genuinely believing that Shanks loved Luffy so much that like their great captain had even given up his arm to like save Luffy and basically like they would also think that basically chances affection towards Luffy will be like a genuine good bond of friendship and everything. So like basically to hide the fact that like Shanks is like an absolutely fake person that basically the sole reason Shanks had even gave up his was just to create that extreme depth in Luffy and that way eventually to use that depth against Luffy to like just get back the Gundam gets back the Gundam fruit. So basically, like Shanks might definitely be fearing and well and fully aware of like the situation that basically like his own crew members, like remaining crew members, even finds out that basically Shanks' only interest is basically Shanks that basically Shanks was a fake and Shanks never had any sort of like good bond of friendship with like Luffy or anything. Like Shanks never cared about Luffy. That basically Shanks only has ever cared about like the Gundam fruit alone. Yeah, basically, if Shanks' remaining crew members even finds out about that, then like basically they would like Shanks' red hair pirates who would be like such a strong and formidable pirate who like basically would be straightway getting disbanded like that. Like the crew members like leaving on their own accord, precisely after on the realization that their captain Shanks that they adored and looked up to like the great respect this entire time or this great past great number of years was like an absolute fake person and was like tricking them all the entire time. Basically, them realizing that might instantly got like the entire pirate through to totally be like eliminated and destroyed. With like all of the remaining crew members going their separate ways and leaving Shanks. So basically, this might be like the most likely reasons that I'm looking for like Shanks with like the absolute stealth trying to like basically trick his like remaining crew members into like basically just going to like the stealthily trying to like go up to like the land of mine just with like Ben Benjamin is definitely my preference. So like I'm preferring Shanks would be like right now totally lying to his like remember that basically that Shanks and Ben Beckman are going to like do something else or like there might be like a different island like nearby or something like so like Shanks telling his like remember that he's going to like check something out along with like Ben Beckman and basically that way like Shanks lying and tricking his remaining crew members and that way Shanks deciding to like head off to the land of Wano. And I'm preparing precisely this would definitely the most likely scenario is definitely my preferring. And that would probably have to do with like most likely having that absolute confidence that basically from Shank's point of view, Shanks would be the only thing that already Luffy has that extreme depth towards Shanks has created tricked Luffy and created that absolute depth with like Shanks giving up his arm to save Luffy's life. So like basically Shanks might be like and with like Luffy even like and so like Shanks would be like absolutely extremely confident or even extremely overconfident thinking that basically once Shanks would be like going up to the land of Wano and asking for Luffy's jumbo sword back like Luffy would be like without any hesitation at all like Luffy would be like giving back the Gangnam Style straight away to Shanks. But definitely what Shanks would be totally expecting. Definitely my personal person. And so like Shanks would be totally expecting that basically he will be able to like quickly go up to the land of Wano, get the Gangnam Style or like from Shanks' point of view, let the One Piece back and basically clear it and back to his like ship. So that like basically he could like easily trick his remaining crew members and into like preventing them from realizing that basically he had actually gone up to like the land of Wano and got like the Ganondorf back from Luffy. Basically, it's definitely my personal impression. So and like the other possibility as well that I'm looking at is that like Shanks maybe would be also having like a backup plan as well. As for like I think Luffy like the government route as well like Shanks might be having like a backup plan as well. It's also like a remote possibility that I'm personally considering, which would be precisely that like Shanks will be well and fully aware by now that basically after like how much Luffy especially since like Luffy had Ace had even died in front of Luffy, and like Shanks might be well and fully aware that Luffy totally would be thoroughly believing that like the fact that Luffy wasn't able to like protect Ace and save Ace's life back then in like the War in Maris was only due to like Luffy not being strong enough. So like with like the Dumbledore giving Luffy all that absolute strength, like definitely a chance would be even right now would be well and fully aware that Luffy currently like even after losing Ace, like all Luffy have right now left the Luffy like this Nakama. So like definitely the Nakama like the four members of Luffy would be extremely precious to Luffy. So like in order to protect them, like Luffy would definitely need strength. And so like I'm different chance might have and since that strength is currently provided to Luffy through the Gumbo Fruit, like Amber Different Chance might have that's like the remote possibility still that Amber Different that Chance might have thought out like the scenario of like asking back like the Gumbo Fruit from Luffy that basically Chance might have only created a backup plan as well that basically to like give Luffy to basically trick Luffy into thinking that basically Luffy by like offering Luffy another strong devil fruit in exchange for like the number fruit, and that way to trick Luffy into thinking that basically that devil fruit, that strong devil fruit, whichever it is, will be able to like basically guarantee give Luffy that guarantee of like protection of the Black Nakama. And in actuality, it would be like the Gundam fruit and like the Gundam fruit alone, which would be like the strongest devil fruit to ever exist, would be like the only devil fruit that can actually guarantee like the protection of like Luffy's Nakama. Uh, it's definitely my personal opinion. So like Shanks, even thinking of such a backup plan to like basically to comfort Luffy in such a way so that like yeah like giving up like the Gundam fruit to Shanks would be that much easy for Luffy to do. So like basically Shanks even uh, having already thought out such a strategy and Shanks when like Shanks will be right now will be like heading off to like the land of Wano like at that point Shanks even attempting such a trade of like a like the like a trade of like a devil fruit as well with like, Luffy as well. It's also like a possible scenario that I'm talking about it. And my very impression is also that like Shanks even right now at this very moment like deciding to like head off to like the land of Manos country with Ben Batman. I'm considering maybe like that's also like the positive that Shanks might be like by now well and fully aware that really like Luffy has like fought a great war against like two Emperor of the Seas like the woman Kaido and like the land of Manos. So like Shanks will be not expecting those three to like, be currently the totally and extremely exhausted. And like even Luffy and Luffy's Nakamas would get extremely exhausted. So like with like Rokigu even heading off to like the land of Wano. Right, Rokigu even currently present with like the land of Wano and would have like maybe two reasons for right now heading off right now at this very moment itself like head off to like the land of Wano. At this very instant would be precisely to like stop Rokigu precisely for one reason being like basically in Shanks fear maybe fearing the possibility that basically even though the Gundam fruit is like might actually believing that the Gundam fruit is very strongest fruit still like since like Luffy had only just recently fought a war like Luffy right now still being like exhausted and that basically maybe exhausted and Luffy possibly having injuries that he might have been fully killed by now. That basically, if like Luffy was to right now fight against like Rockyu, the possibility of like Rockyu possibly like or foreign and defeating maybe even taking Luffy's life as well might be like a possibility that Shanks might be seeing. So like that way. That would be like, and that way, if that happens, like Shanks would be like losing like the gun. So like Luffy dies, and since like Shanks would be losing the Gumbo Fruit, so like that Luffy's life, even to the present, until Shanks gets back the Gumbo Fruit from Luffy, like Luffy's life would be like extremely, Luffy's survival would be extremely important to Shanks. So like maybe with that reason as well would be like Shanks would be planning, like it would be like a main reason for like Shanks right now, right now itself like deciding to like successfully head off to like the land of Wano, and Chance might be totally planning that along with that Glenberg and to like perfectly be easily able to like overpower and defeat like Rocky. And maybe Chance might be also like planning on like playing the savior because like Shanks the only thing that like Luffy and like the armies in like the land of Wano would be totally exhausted and like would have like the energy to like fight against Rocky. Since like the war was just now over, like Shanks might be also planning on like once again exactly like how Shanks had already created that extreme depth in Luffy, with like giving up his arm in like the film of like Shanks, possibly even thinking like since like Shanks is right now about to ask Luffy back like the government road Shanks might be also thinking along the lines of to like create another depth as well to like basically that much like create another depth as well to for Luffy towards like by precisely saving Luffy from Rocky uh, and basically that way like even more creating even more product in like Luffy on top of like the already existing that in Luffy towards like Shanks and basically then soon after like basically for Shanks to like straight away ask for like the Gundam fruit back so that like that would like that might totally maximize like the possibility of like Luffy giving up like the Gundam fruit to Shanks. This might all be like maybe like Shanks' current might all be the things that would be currently going through Shanks' mind and this might all be like maybe like Shanks' current plan is also my personal theory and prediction. Also like the personal theory and prediction for like Momonosuke while fighting a rock against like Rokuju, like Momonosuke even telling Yamato not to fight Rokuju. Would be like solely like Momonosuke like extreme or confident arising out of like Momonosuke extreme immaturity is definitely my personal opinion. So because like because of Momonosuke has grown up like still since like Momonosuke is still a child like and but it's like it would be just like Momonosuke all of a sudden like after like the one like the land of and all of them like Momonosuke being given like one thing being given like the Shogun title and basically that was like the entire reflect the land of and praising and Momonosuke and all that that might not only got into like Momonosuke's head and basically Momonosuke might be like currently like totally underestimating like and basically totally overestimating himself like Momonosuke himself would be like totally overestimating himself thinking that basically like that so if like the current Shogun title that Momonosuke holds right now would be strong enough to just Momonosuke will naively think that basically he would be like by just holding the Shogun title like he would be like easily able to like defeat he would be able to like defeat Orochimaru. Would be what Momonosuke would be naively thinking when in actuality like Momonosuke won't be able to like would be immature to not be able to like comprehend the actuality and the reality of like the situation that like what it all comes down to is basically absolute and sheer power like as long as Momonosuke like it has like levels of power that basically is like far less when compared to like the levels of power of that of like Orochimaru like regardless of what title Shogun title that Momonosuke holds currently like that simply won't allow Momonosuke to ever be able to like defeat someone who's like just sheerly strong way stronger than Momonosuke in terms of like power. It's definitely my personal generation. So like Momonosuke will be like naively not be able to like comprehend that and I'm preparing right now for like Momonosuke to like learn that hard lesson, that precise lesson the hard way by precisely precisely crushing Momonosuke. It's like the scenario that I'm preparing and like I'm preparing Momonosuke to like seriously struggle and Momonosuke to like most likely regret the fact regret telling Yamato not to like to fight telling regret Momonosuke to regret telling Yamato not to like fight Rokuju. It's definitely my personal impression because like firstly, because like from Momonosuke's point of view, like Momonosuke right now and like the shogun of like the land of Wano, like basically might definitely want to like basically like want to like save the land of Wano himself from a Rokuju attack and everything. It's definitely my personal impression. But like all that hopes of Momonosuke and extreme more confident thinking of Momonosuke to like basically uh, to totally backfire and Momonosuke getting that absolute reality check with like Gambit once again like Momonosuke, I'm not remembering right now, like Momonosuke totally suffering by the overwhelming strength of like Rockyu and like I'm remembering of like the scenario is like Momonosuke finally learning that hard lesson and Rockyu about to will be a scenario in which like Rockyu will be about to take the life of Momonosuke and I'm remembering at that point precisely like Yamato totally disobeying Momonosuke and basically Yamato trying to like attack and stop Rockyu from taking Momonosuke's life, but still like Rockyu would be like easily like overpowering Yamato and like then once again like Rockyu the Super for Rockyu once again like continuing on with like trying to take Momonosuke's life and at that point like Yamato will be most likely sidelined and so Yamato won't be able to like help Momonosuke so like and none of the other samurais, weak samurais that's like nearby, like they neither would be able to like do anything, and they as well would be totally getting sidelined like the scenario that I'm looking for. So like Kokiyu about to take Momonosuke's life, and absolutely no one around to like be able to like help Momonosuke and Momonosuke learning that hard lessons that way. And basically, precisely at the very last second, as like Rocky, you will be about to take Momonosuke's life. Momonosuke like basically being precisely saved once again by precisely Luffy. It's like the scenario that I'm going to really predict, and that would be like extremely unexpected for Momonosuke and Yamato and like the remaining samurai who certainly never be rebels. But anyway, like Luffy saving Momonosuke, that would be the mark like the beginning of like the Luffy versus Rockugyu fight. It's like the scenario that I'm going to bring in my into version. So like according to my passenger impression, like once eventually once Luffy would be precisely like showing up to and precisely saving Momonosuke from dying by the hands of like a rocky field. At that point, I'm also predicting like precisely it would be just Luffy and the Straw Hat Crew alone that would be showing up to that location. So like I'm also predicting Momonosuke totally getting lucky with like basically the remaining like systems of like the that have gathering like the flower capital not being able to like make it there at that precise time and those suffering by the time they would be getting their like their so like that way basically like the systems of like that have of like the land of Ano that have all gathered in like the power capital not witnessing basically their great hero Momonosuke and basically being so extremely weak and basically Luffy having to like save their great hero Momonosuke basically none of the citizens of like the power capital that way not witnessing such a scene and basically so due to that, like I'm totally naively still continuing on assuming that basically it was like Shogun, great Shogun Momonosuke that had basically like defeated Kaido and basically is like the hero and everything. But like I'm also referring as like the Luffy of the like Rocky fight would be progressing. I'm also referring definitely eventually the people of like the land of Wano would be by then like from like the whole impact and like sound and noise that would be caused during like the whole review of Lucy fight like number different by then like the remaining citizens gathered in like the flower capital celebrating like them all like realizing and with them all by then eventually like gathering to and around like the location where like trophy you and will be fight will be taking place. So definitely it's a scenario that I'm considering. So like by the time like eventually once like and I'm considering even those Shanks would be right now like heading off to along with like Ben Beckman to like the land of Mano only hoping to like play like the savior once again in front of Luffy. Like I'm considering even that attempt of Shanks probably backfiring like Luffy himself basically even before like Shanks will be making it back like Luffy would be like not likely or defeating like Rocky. That's like one possibility that I'm considering. The other possibility is like by the time Shanks will be showing up, like I'm considering Shanks with nothing like Luffy, the extremely exhausted Luffy is still totally overpowering and defeating Rocky. So like Shanks wouldn't get that opportunity to like basically interfere and basically play the stage or especially my possibility. So like seeing the that situation, Shanks basically along with Ben Beckman stealthily observing like Luffy's fight performance against Rocky. It's like the possible scenario that I'm considering. So anyway, like this like Luffy, I'm considering that Luffy eventually only offering and defeating Rocky and that by then, like certainly, like the entirety of like the land of Wano would be witnessing that overwhelming strength of like Luffy. So like at that point, like even though Luffy, the last thing Luffy would want would be for like the world to like see him as like a hero, still, but the like the entirety of like, the land of Wano at that point would be seeing Luffy as like the second hero of like the land of Wano, other than Momonosuke. It's definitely my personal impression. So that way moment of getting lucky and still like the people of like the land of Pano still only like without the unaware people of like the land of Pano, majority of the land of Pano totally assuming that basically it was moment of that had saved like the land of Pano from Kaido's from Kaido as well as like it was like the hero them all thinking that basically it was the hero Momonosuke that saved like the land of Pano Oden's son, like the hero Momonosuke that saved like the land of Ano from Kaido, while like soon after like basically it was like the hero Luffy that basically saved the land of Ano from the villain Rohiryu. Would be like along such lines like entire effect land of Ano probably seeing two heroes like Momonosuke and Luffy. When that way, like the entire like the land of Mano, and also realizing that basically like they are like even in like they are like only being ruled over by such an extremely weak and lacking in strength, weak shogun who like totally lacks in strength when it comes to like sheer fighting skills. And basically that like the land of Mano is like absolutely vulnerable to like anyone even with like moment of stay and like the like and like his like retainers, his current retainers, like basically the land of Wano is like extremely vulnerable, especially with like I'm different rails in like the land of the borders of like, the land of Wano would be like open. And the different at that point with like the land of Wano being accessible to like the rest of like, the world, like basically the with like just someone as extremely weak as like Momenosuke, weak strength as Momenosuke as like the main slogan of like the ruler of like the land of Wano, basically the land of Wano is in like such an extremely vulnerable and fragile state where like anyone from like the rest of the any strong pirate from like the rest of the world or like any strong captain from like the navy men from like the rest of the world who could like easily totally offer moment of care offer and equate moment of care as well as like the retainers and basically forcefully rule over like the land of Wano at any point would be like this actual reality of that situation, which I'm looking at, according to my personal impression, would be something like the people of like the land of Wano won't be ever finding out about. It's definitely my personal impression, and I'm looking the land of Wano still remaining safe and secure even from the present to like the distant future. And it will be solely due to like Luffy and Luffy alone because like I'm totally protecting like Luffy totally declaring like the land of Wano as like Luffy's country. It's definitely my personal everything. But like I'm also trying to be not doing that while being present within like the land of Wano. But trying to be most likely doing that uh, it basically showing up on like the news. Like Luffy doing such like declaration of like marking like the land of Wano, like Luffy's that in such a manner that like that absolute tell that basically the people of like the land of Wano won't be finding out. The people of like, the land of Wano who are like always living in the land of Wano won't be able to basically find out won't be able to like find out about it, whereas like the rest of the world would be like able to like find out about it. And basically that way to like instill that fear in anyone who basically even would be like daring to like think of like basically attack or like take over like the land of Mana. Especially my Bundaran and I'm also bringing it after like even the land of Mana, but bring it Luffy declaring not just like the land of Mana, but like Pacific Island as well as like the Emperor of Luffy's like territory. It's definitely my personal impression. And that info of like the declaration of Luffy is totally spreading across like the world through like the newspapers, especially the eventual scenarios that I'm talking about. Like Luffy ensuring such a thing happens. That news spreads across the world as well. It's definitely my personal opinion. Okay, so like definitely my personal impression right now with that Mononosuke only telling Yamato alone not to like fight around you while Mononosuke is like totally and absolutely fine with like his with like the retainers like fighting against like Orochimaru. Definitely would be solely due to like my personal retail and particular that would be solely due to like Mononosuke seeing himself as this like great shogun who like along with his retainers like as in basically Momonosuke will be thinking of the lines of like Momonosuke would be trying to like desperately trying to take the place of Oden, is the his father Oden to definitely not in the and like Momonosuke will be seeing like this being like the fight against Orochimaru being like a fight being like this fight like the fight of Momonosuke and his like retainers so that like Momonosuke since like Yamato is not a retainer Momonosuke would be only thinking though that along the lines of like this fight is not Yamato's fight. So like I'm considering like this fight to totally most likely definitely teach Momonosuke that hard lesson that basically strength is what genuinely matters basically if the Momonosuke wants to like protect like the land of Wano and just like protect the land of Wano like definitely my consideration. So definitely I'm considering into like definitely Luffy would be that it would definitely take Luffy to be able to like prevent like Momonosuke from dying by the hands of like Rogue. So like at that point, I'm considering what like Luffy would be fighting and eventually defeating Rogue. By then, I'm considering Momonosuke learning that as good hard lesson that basically if Momonosuke wants to like actually genuinely protect his like protect his land of Wano, he needs to like definitely get trained extra hard and get ensure that he gets a whole lot stronger than he is right now at the present where like in the present like Momonosuke would be like a whole lot extremely weaker than even compared to his father Oden. Oden's strength is definitely Michael Graham. So like honestly coming to that realization through this like whole battle with Rocky that eventually that basically if he wants to like protect his land of Wano, he would have to like even surpass with like father Oden. Especially in when it comes to like precisely when it comes to like strength and fighting skills Momonosuke learning that hard lesson eventually through the fight against like Rocky, like the scenario that I'm already protecting and my person that I'm and Momonosuke also realizing that basically it's not just him but like he is like his retainers as well has to like get train and get a whole lot stronger to even be able to like get even at least near to basically like the straw hat crew, like look straw hat crews like strength at least for them to even stand a chance or like have a hope and like being able to like properly protect their approaches the land of Wano. Basically, Momonosuke and the retainers basically are realizing that like half through especially with like once like with like Momonosuke definitely would be without before like Luffy leaving like the land of Wano, definitely Momonosuke would be only planning on like opening up the borders of like the land of Mano before it was like the land of Mano. So like definitely like the borders of like the land of Mano opened at that point. Monastery eventually opening the borders of like the land of Mano at that point, and that way making the land of Mano accessible to like the rest of the world, the rest of and Monastery as well as the retainers strongly realizing that basically they were all wrong. That basically it's not just Kaido alone that's like the ultimate fighter, ultimate strong villain or like powerful enemy, but like it's like basically Momonosuke and all of them like come to the realization that especially since like the land of Wano is like an important place, like basically and once like it's like access is like opened up to like the rest of the world, like any sort of villain as strong as Kaido or like even stronger than Kaido in like the future could like totally could like totally like just like Kaido or like Rocky would like totally in the future as well could like try to like infiltrate into like the land of Mino at any point. So like they need to be prepared to basically be able to like defend and protect their precious land of Mino at that point by then. So in order to do that, like they have to like actually ensure to like uh, ensure that like they train extra hard and ensure that basically they have that extreme sharp rise in their strength and combat skills and everything. It's definitely my personal view that even far surpasses like Odin for them to be or at least even is even able to like match the strength of Odin for them to even actually stand a chance at being able to like protect like the excess land of Mano like amount of chance of return of learning that hard lesson is eventually like the scenario that I'm going to bring on those things. Okay, so like definitely my question to the impression right now is that like basically ISOs like fire jutsu attack would have definitely at all not at all like affect even remotely affect us like or even remotely even from like the admiral level fighter like Rocky is definitely my person to the impression. So especially with like Roku's like admiral level, like definitely my looking to the impressions that like a Roku right now would be only messing with like the Momonosuke as well as like the retainers, like trying to give them that absolute false hope that as if like they actually even stand a chance against like the admiral level Roku and it's so it's definitely my looking to the impressions. So, like Roku would be totally putting on a fake act that like it's actually getting hurt from like a rifles like fire jutsu. That's definitely my person theory and for it. Because like most of the operations are like I think like basically none of parents like retainers or like currently Momonosuke or like his retainers like none of them will be having like any key power or like a Rio power with them at all. It's definitely my person to imagine, especially since, like when compared to them like basically Rokugu will be having such extremely at his like admiral level like Rokugu will be like having such extremely sharp and high levels of haki like because of look like definitely even with like fire being advantageous to like the element fire element being like advantageous to like the Kirasan plant and three element level fruit powers of like Rokugu still like basically the attack of like fire due to attack of Faiso lacking any sort of like haki at all would be like basically absolutely even nothing at all. Wouldn't even face like a RPG or like wouldn't even be able to like actually even make a sense or like even remotely hurt a RPG at all. It's definitely my consider impression. So like a RPG would be only putting on definitely anticipated 1,000 impression that like RPG would be probably putting on the fake act as if like he's starting to give that false hope and to totally mess with like Monosuke and like the retainers. So definitely one of the impression that is sitting on. Okay, so like definitely my passenger impression right now with like a right in serious trouble with like Rocky. You are preparing still my just into my passenger impression that like this time it would be like among the retainers and preparing this for thing like it will be this time it will be precisely a danger of that will most likely it will be danger of times to like basically leave and most likely to basically finally that pass away and die by the hands of a Rocky just or women's strength is definitely my passenger impression. So definitely dangerous that like while like the entire Pluton and Wano are therefore suffering like are currently in like they are finally in their for celebratory mood and everything and the different still the death of Denjiro pertaining to definitely thinking about the revolution that like Denjiro would be definitely dying by the hands of like Rocky and that would be like an extremely important hard lesson that like moment for like especially moment of as well as the retainers that they definitely has to like work on themselves and their fighting skills and get a whole lot stronger if they want to like protect the land of an everything precious in it is definitely my particular emergence. Like the death of Pedro would be definitely that hard lesson that ominous and his like retainers will be learning through their whole battle against like it's definitely my particular emergence. Okay, so like definitely my particular impression right now for like currently like a cat wife as well as like dogs from like so many being confused as to like what said so like basically about you possibly not even having any weakness or like what exactly they have to do in order to like stop talking you. My particular impression should be precisely and definitely because of like them the retainers that basically even back since when Odin had taken them all in and made them the retainers, like since then I'm the person like the retainers like while Odin might have only worked on himself and worked on his like hockey and or like a real powers and everything like really the retainers might have totally live totally under the shadows of Odin and basically might have totally and Odin as well might have not taken any sort of responsibility in like ensuring that his like a retainers are like gain in strength like they grow in strength or anything like Odin might have definitely never might have even bothered to like even uh, might have never even bothered or even thought along the lines of like basically increasing the strength of the retainers, like basically ensuring that like just like retainers as well grows in strength along with like Odin. Basically it's like absolutely important and essential and necessary for like the perfection of like for eventually like for like the perfection of the like practice land of manner. Might be one thing that even Odin after like returning back and after like during Korochi's role while Odin was so totally doing this like Odin dance and everything. Like even then, like this might be one thing that Odin might not totally fail to realize. Definitely my person to remember. So so that definitely Odin might have never at all trained his like retainers and this one and his retainers like all of like Odin's retainers basically they themselves might have totally been so extremely the entire time might have been totally so extremely obsessed with like Odin that basically they might have totally uh, turned themselves into like basically living under the shadow of Odin and basically always obsessing over Odin when in actuality they that way like they might have totally for absolutely forgotten about like working on themselves and training themselves and to get themselves stronger. Especially my person very much. And this way we like the precise reason for like even in like the person that like they are fighting off against like Rocky, then having absolutely no idea as to like what's the Rocky goes weakness that then like that would be precisely like none of the retains having absolutely no idea as for like the existence of Ryu, which even old man Hyodoro knows of like even my old man Hyodoro knows of like the existence of like the hierarchy of like the underman of Rio. Basically, none of the retainers whom of the order who even to like this very person might have ever actually properly worked on themselves to like actually train and increase their strength would be like precisely due to that so the sole reason alone that they have absolutely no idea of like the even like the existence of like the power of Rio and hence why they are like currently as like they are fighting out against like a Rokugan. These retainers are on top of being powerless, they are also flawless and has has like absolutely no idea as to what as to even what exactly could possibly like bring down or even they could like to like even stand a chance against like the Rocky. The extremely important element of like the Rio, the power of Rio. Basically, none of like orders retainers would be having like any knowledge that for like even like the existence of Rio, and this would be precisely and hence like audience retainers who are currently like moment of career retainers would be exactly like would be only just a tiny bit stronger than moment of care. They would like the current even in like the present like the retainers of audience who are like currently like the retainers of moment of care, they would all be like so extremely weak when compared to like strong fighters from like the outside world. That's definitely my personal impression. Okay, so like definitely my question theory and position right now as for like law precisely showing up to the problem of basically law being interested in this whole mystery of like the quantum and everything and the theory. it might maybe have to do with like the back when like my person there is that like back when like law was like a child like basically so back then law might have heard the saying that is leave that is leave people that like T in their name are like enemies of like the sense bracket. So like even back then law might have heard of like and known about like the celestial dragon being like the and law might have seen way back then when the law of the child law might have seen like the celestial dragon that like was absolute ruler of like the entire world. It's definitely my person to so like the fact and then a law might have heard also like the saying that within people that speak in their name are like basically enemies considered as enemies of the celestial dragon. So like my consider mentioned simply that like the first time Law might have heard of this saying might have been even way before like Law might have even joined like the Flamingo back then when Law of the child like even way before that Law might have heard of the saying that is name that people will stay in their name are like enemies of the Celestial Dragon. So since like the Law might have back then seen like Celestial Dragon as the ultimate rule of the world like that might have like only extremely intrigued law that as to like what the great importance behind like the thing in the like name. So this might be the precise interest that might have like remain within law even to like the present day. It's definitely my present within law might in the case of law the case of Robin like I think for Robin it's Robin's for like basically for her to like unlock the history of like the words and find out the truth about like the words in the end for Robin should definitely not only for her alone to like gain all that information, but for what Robin's point of view, like Robin's goal would be to like gain all that information, all that truth and spread it across like to the rest of the world. Might be like a Robin's like ultimate goal, but like for Law's like ultimate goals might be precisely find the truth about like the initial in like Law's name, like what's like the specialty about like what's the specialty and what's the importance and uh, uh, about like the deep in like Law's name. Definitely might have been precisely uh, what like Law's ultimate goal might even be is definitely my remedy. So like Law even while being like one of like the first generation like definitely uh, Law's ultimate goal, as for it being like the One Piece, might not be for Law to like basically Law expecting like that way on gaining or like finding like the One Piece like Law wanting like a lot of money or like whatever that One Piece provides like basically in terms of like comfort and rich money and all that like that might definitely not be what Law might be after. It's definitely not the situation. What Law might be after would be like from Law's point of view, Law would be only saying that like finding like the One Piece would be what basically unlocks like the absolute truth about like the what is it exactly that like makes like the initial special like people with like the initial in their name special and important. This might be like what the that ultimate truth behind that would be what like the ultimate goal of Law might actually be and might be like the sole reason for like Law even chasing after like the One Piece as well. It's definitely my personal theory and prediction. So I'm personally totally predicting like my personal theory and prediction that like maybe Law's name being like Trafalgar the water law. Like basically if that name might have been totally hidden. Precisely that information might have been precisely hidden by Law's own parent. So Law is definitely my personal theory. No, ever since like law could remember like basically law might have been called like further law by law's parents just like made my booking language. So law initially might have never even realized that he had the in his name just like my booking language. But like I'm considering somehow law might have figured out that basically found some sort of like a record or something in like a law's home or something through which like law might have only realized that basically the initial D that basically last name, actual true name is like different. And it's not just last name, but like last parent's name as well. It's like actually different and have D in their name. And law might have found this out and basically law might have like the child law back then might have totally questioned like his parents. So like it might be then way back then that law's parents might have told law that basically like the first reason we did that truth from you and changed your name and our name as well was certainly because like the people with like the D initial in like the name are enemies of like the self dragon and maybe it might be the parents of like that might have thought as to like the self dragon should be being like the ultimate rulers of like the world and everything. Law might have been extremely young back then. So like I'm preferring since then, like I'm preferring that extreme curiosity and extreme curiosity might have built up in like Law's mind and like Law even from such a young age, like making it just like ultimate mission and ultimate goal in his life to like eventually figure out the truth as to like why it is so like why people with just having like a D initial in their name are basically considered as like enemies of like the rulers of like the rulers of like the world would be along the lines like law would be like having that might have had that extreme curiosity certainly never been very episode. So like since that like law might have definitely set off I mean, like, since then, Law might have definitely had this, like, curiosity, and I'm about to bring, like, Law even aligned precisely with, like, Luffy back in, like, One Hazard, might, like, the fact that Luffy had, like, the B initial in his name might have definitely been, like, an extremely huge fact in basically, and on top of that, like, Law might have already have figured that basically Luffy has, genuinely is, like, a kind of, and trustable, especially a trustable person, might be one thing, like, Law might have already figured after like seeing like how after like seeing like Luffy's like trauma after like having his time and all that basically like Law might not only seen like basically like Luffy's like that extreme suffering and basically Law might not only figure that basically Luffy is someone that can be trusted, which definitely my consideration. So and so like on top of that trust, like basically it's the fact that Luffy having like the D initial in his name might have definitely been an extremely major factor in like law in like concept that deciding to like precisely law precisely choosing exactly Luffy to like precisely ally with to precisely bring down Kaido. It's definitely my documenting and Kaido is definitely my person theory and prediction. So like in the process, like law might have also been like have had like another hidden incident as well, and that might have been precisely to like learn more about like the people that have the middle initials in their name through by spending time with Luffy to like learn more about like Luffy. So just solely because of Luffy having like the D initial in his name. Might have also been like an hidden intent behind like law totally align deciding to like ally with like uh Luffy back in like concept that definitely my personal understanding. So there's so like definitely not the reaction right now in that like because this is like right now it's now revealed that Jack is like a fisherman. So like definitely my personal reaction right now is that like those two massive phones that like Jack had are basically fake phones. So it's definitely my personal reaction. So like which Jack would be totally wearing totally out of like Kaido totally inspiring Jack so much that basically Jack would be like totally looking up to like Kaido so much and Jack might be even a fan of Kaido secretly deep down. And so this is because of this reason that like Jack would be like to be having this fake sort of fake phone. Jack would be wearing fake phone totally out of his like extreme like looking up towards like Kaido. This is definitely my personal reaction. So Jack might definitely could be someone who totally wants to be a lot like Kaido, and that will be the reason for Jack wearing fake horns fake horns to basically make himself like look more like Kaido. It's definitely my personal reaction. So, and I'm considering maybe that might also be the reason for like Jack even wearing that precise like metallic mask in his face as well to totally not give away to others that basically he is not that he doesn't belong to the same tribe as Kaido and that to not give to make himself appear as if it's like he's exactly like Kaido when to totally give to totally hide the fact that he's like a Jack is like a fisherman and is like totally different to Kaido to basically hide that from like the rest of the world only particularly the reason for Jack even wearing that metallic mask on his like face. It's also definitely my personal ambition. So because like removing that mask would be like revealing only revealing that fishman like sharp teeth of Jack is definitely my personal impression. So and my personal impression is definitely that like so like my particular impression is that like basically that's when like Unita had attacked Jack and basically Jack had dropped like basically at that point still my particular approach is definitely that like Jack might definitely not be able to like swim. Like I'm thinking when a fishman, I don't believe that like when a fishman is a devil throat, like that fishman would only be losing his like ability to swim alone. It's definitely not open to emergency. Yet, like that fishman will be able, even while possessing the power, like the devil, in that fishman will be perfectly able to like survive underwater and breathe underwater. It's definitely not open to emergency. To be only like the swimming ability alone of like the fishman that would be like lost due to like the consumption of like a devil fruit by a fishman. It's definitely not open to emergency. This might be the first reason for like Jack even surviving underwater after like currently being attacked by Tunisia in like that past definitely my positive emergence. Also like this might be like the fact that Jack is like a fisherman might be like the preferred reason for like Jack being like Kaido in like the past having looks like Kaido in the past having totally revealed at one point that basically Jack is like extremely precious to Kaido. Considering like it would be precisely and solely due to like Jack definitely being like the only fishman member in like Kairos in the entirety of like the Beast Pirate army of Cairo. Like Jack would be like the only Christian. It's definitely my personal and this would be like the sole reason for like Jack being totally precious to Cairo. It's also definitely my personal impression. So like my personal impression that like actually even though we think that the Cairo Group might have totally taken away like Jack's even while being a fisherman, like might have totally taken away Jack's ability to like swim so but regarding like still Jack would be definitely be able to like not only breathe underwater but also like walk underwater. Certainly my position and this ability that Jack alone would be considering in like the entirety of the stars would be like the exact ability that would be extremely precious for Kaido. It's just like quest to like find all the Poneglyphs and through the Poneglyphs like eventually make it to like the One Piece is definitely my position. And this will be the precise reason for like Jack likely being like an indispensable and important member of that Kaido, like, to Kaido, is definitely my personal evolution, especially with like Jack right now being revealed to be the first person having that have found like the Poneglyph in like the land of Wano. So like my particular introduction right now is that like so far it would be only just Kaido as well as like who's formed that would be like a real phones, especially my percentage average. And so like it wouldn't just be Cairo alone, but like I'm just referring my the percentage that like this source as well would be both of them both would be having that their roots actually from like the Kurosumi classes, definitely my percentage average. And just to get my personal impression that like it would be like a strong members of like the Kurosumi clan that might have had like the firstly found with the name of the impression. Hence why like Orochi as well as Kanjuro are like members of like the Kurosumi clan and not having that found definitely my personal impression. So like and I'm also putting my personal theory that like as for rocks like basically rocks might have definitely had phones as well. It's definitely my personal impression. So like my percentage interaction as for rocks, like basically rocks response would definitely be fake. It's definitely my percentage. Maybe due to like rocks like looking up to like and totally inspired out of like exactly like Jack. Maybe like when in the case of Jack might have been solely not inspired out of like the tribe of Kaido, but like might have solely inspired out of like just Kaido alone to like put on the fake font. Like but in the case of like a rock and delivering rocks might have put on fake forms solely due to like things probably being inspired out of like Kairos like Kurosumi tribe like the it's definitely my opinion the memories so like I'm considering maybe rocks might have knew about like the past legend of like the tribe from like the tribe of like the Kurosumi tribe from like the void century. There might have had like the Kurosumi tribe might have created their own certain history in like the void century and might have had like their own relevance and their own place in like the back in like the void century. It should be precisely when like the giant skull of Onigashima with horns as well would be like the ancient ancestor of like the Sarasani tribe as well, who might have definitely been defeated by like Joy from like the void century as well. Especially my consideration. So like I'm considering maybe like Rock might have been like a fan of that ancient ancestor of like the Sarasani tribe from like the void century, which is like the current on caffeine was supplemented and maybe it might be that might be the reason for like rocks having phones and it would be totally fake phones and also I'm still taking to my personal impression that like it wouldn't be like that basically Jap would be might actually have two sons, and it wouldn't just be a dragon alone that would be Garp's son, but like rocks as well might out of Libyan Garp's son. It's definitely my personal impression. So my personal impression is also that like my personal impression is also that Blackbeard would definitely be a rock's son. It's also definitely my personal impression that I'm still thinking into, and hence why the extreme similarity between like Luffy as well as Blackbeard, while they have they are they have a lot of similarity yet like a lot of them having like a lot of similarity yet having a lot of difference would be like precisely due to them most likely being cousins, Luffy and Blackbeard most likely actually being like cousins. So definitely not in the Russian that is sitting on. Okay, so the Indian Empire Corruption right now has for like another land of Wano under the sea, under like the current land of Wano. But the point is, might totally have to do with like that being like the original land of Wano that basically might have definitely existed back during like the void century. This is certainly my personal understanding. That land of Wano was like the possessed land of Wano that probably the ancient ancestor Momonosuke from like the void century who might have definitely been a giant. So definitely my personal impression. So like that giant ancient ancestor Momonosuke, like basically his kingdom, the land of Wano might have been precisely this precise exact land of Wano from that like currently under like the under like the sea. This currently my personal impression. So while this would be from like definitely the voice center is definitely members of parent. And this exact land of Mano might have been what exactly might have been attacked by the precise skull of Onigashima being like the precise like ancient ancestor from of Cairo from like the voice century. Ancient ancestor of like the Korosune clan and Cairo, like from like the voice century. He might have attacked this precise exact land of that Robin is right now seeing. It's definitely not a great mission. And back then, like the giant ancestor Momonosuke, who was like the shogun of that exact land of Wano, sought the help of Joy Boy. Exactly like right now, in the present, Momonosuke had sought the help of Luffy to like save the land of Wano from like the present like Cairo, like I'm preferring precisely. And Luffy eventually ending up being like Joy Boy. I'm preferring the difference in like the voice century might have been like basically a character the by like a Joy Boy character already existing while precisely and basically this precisely like the ancient ancestor of Kaido being part of like the Kurosumi clan, like basically him having one day like attacked and infiltrated into like the land of Wano from like, the void center and him forcefully him defeating the ancient ancestor Momonosuke and basically that ancient ancestor Momonosuke being forced to like flee like the land of Wano and like in exactly like in like the present how precisely like Orochi and Kaido had ruled over like the land of Wano for 20 years, like I'm differing in that void century, like land of Wano, about differing after like that ancient ancestor of Kaido's attack, like I was different that land of Wano as well might have been like that precisely is like that precise land of Wano under the sea, like basically that land of Wano might have been ruled over by the ancient ancestor of Kaido of the Kurosaki clan for like maybe like not 20 years, but like maybe 40 years. It's like maybe like a possibility that I'm different. And maybe uh, at that point in like the world century, like the ancient and some moment of people might have fled at that point, uh, escape from like that land and at that point might have searched for search for maybe precisely Joy Web because like Joy Web's popularity might have spread all throughout like the world even back then in like the world century. Is my question to remember. So maybe the ancient ancestor moment of escape might have escaped with the land of Mana might have spent a whole lot of time like basically sailing and searching out throughout like the world during like the world century, trying to like find Joyboy and he might have finally found Joyboy and shot Joyboy's scalp and Joy and brought Joyboy to like the land of Mana. And Joyboy might have only fought against like the ancient ancestor Kaido and or fought and defeated like the ancient ancestor Kaido and it might have been like the precise skull of like the ancient ancestor Kaido that might have initially been present back then after defeating like the ancient ancestor Kaido. That skull of Onigashima actually might have been initially been present on one side of like that precise land of Wano under that's currently under the sea. So certainly my person to So like I'm considering it might and like the sword, the giant sword as well, which might have definitely been like the giant sword of like the giant ancestor moment of game. Uh, it's also definitely my personal impression. So like even like my personal impressions are like so that giant sword beside like the skull on Onigashima and like the giant skull of like Onigashima might have initially actually originally existed after like the defeat of like, the giant after like Joy Boy have defeated like the giant ancestor Kaido back in the Void Century on the place that the Void Century land of Wano, like basically the skull uh, uh, might have been placed like right next to that like land of Mana from like the Void Century, and then the bring as like time passed like basically what might have happened is basically like has like all these 800 years passed like at some point like I'm about to bring like the sea level might have definitely rose to the point of basically the land of Mana from like the Void Century like slowly being like more and more submerged and basically water consuming like and covering up like the entirety of like that whole and land of Wano. So like I'm considering a new land of Wano might have totally been rebuilt on like a location that's like higher up to that's above and higher up to that old land of Wano, and that will be probably the current new land of Wano. It's definitely which will be currently what the it would be like the current present land of Wano like the present day. It's definitely my present image. So like the skull of Onigashima as well as like the giant sword of like the ancient ancestor Momonosuke might have also been like because like the Bosui clan might have viewed that as like an absolute pride symbol for them, like something that they would be like totally looking to as like the victory of like the Bosui clan or like the or what they believe is like the wilderness for of the clan basically, and to like keep that as like a warning or like a threat. Because like I'm considering even after like the ancient ancestor of Cairo, who killed ancestor of Cairo from like the Void Century, he had like attacked and taken over and ruled over like the land back during like the Void Century. He might have done that mostly by himself, but like he might have had like an army of like Kurosumi clan members as well. It's definitely not the Picture. So like they might have all sent in like the land of Mano from like the Void Century and it rolled over maybe not 20 but like for 40 years during like the Viking is definitely not looking famous. So like even after like that giant ancient ancestor Cairo might have been defeated by Joy Boy and he had died like that way. Like even after that like I'm considering his like army like basically it might have been like they are like the leader of like the Kurosumi clan might have been like the giant ancestor Kaido, but like I'm considering like the remaining Kurosumi clan members might have been like human size. It's definitely my percentage impression maybe. So like I'm considering and also my percentage impressions are like in like the land of Wano from like the words in the even like the giant ancestor moment of they might have been like maybe like the only giant person there and might have been like the shogun back then. It's definitely my percentage impression. So all the remaining people in like that land of Wano might have been like human size, like normal human size, just like being a percentage. So like after like the army of like then ancient ancestors of Cairo and this like Kurosami army was defeated by the Kotoshi by like Joy Boy and maybe like also like the Kotoshi army. Like at that point I was considering like the Kurosami people might have totally gone army and people might have totally gone into like hiding in like the land of Wano. So like my the impressions are like the giant skull of Onigashima as well as like that giant sword of like the ancient ancestor Momonosuke might have been like put up as to like symbolize like a warning or like a threat to like the remaining Kurosumi clan members who would be like who might have been back then so, like hiding like up like the defeat of their ancient ancestor Kaido leader like basically they might have totally been hiding in like the land man also like to totally put up this Onigashima as well as like the Zen sword of like Momonosuke might have been put up as like a warning or like a threat for them the Kurosumi clan remnants to like even bother to not even bother or not even dare to like ever try to do what their leader had done in like that void century is definitely my passenger energy. And this might be the reason for like even after like the land of Wano, like even after like over the great number of 800 years, like basically eventually at some point like sea levels rising and basically so like the Shogun taking the decision, so then Shogun taking the decision to build a new land of Wano, like right above like the old land of Wano, and basically they're precisely like the skull of Onigashima as well as like the giant sword of the ancient ancestor Momonosuke, who might have been totally viewed as like a hero by the Kosuke clan solely due to like maybe him it was because of like him like escaping and seeking the help of Joy that like the Kosuke clan was like saved and freed from like the rule of like the ancient ancestor Kaido as well as like the Kurosumi clan. So solely due to that maybe like the ancient ancestor Momonosuke might be viewed as like a hero for by like the Kurosumi clan then as well as like their descendants is definitely my positive emergence. So precisely my positive emergence that like that would be the reason for like the as like a warning as well as the precise Onigashima from from under the sea in like the old land of Wano might have been also taken up and lifted up somehow and basically might have like the people of the Bozo clan might have ensured to put that in like the precise location of like Onigashima to like that precise island they might have put up like the precise skulls of like that ancient ancestor guide of the Kurosumi clan as well as the precise giant sword of like the ancient ancestor Momonosuke as like that threat and warning to all the remaining Kurosumi clan survivors to like never even dare to like basically attempt another attack on like the Kosuke clan. So definitely one person to remember. Yet like even after doing all this stuff, they one person to remember that Odin's father and maybe Odin's father might have totally been an extremely villainous character who might have selfishly not like decided to not forgive like the Kurosumi clan for what they might have done in like that way back in like the world century that like he might have totally or maybe like the Kurosumi clan like among like the remaining Kurosumi clan present in like the present land of like basically like just the minority might have caused like some sort of a minor trouble against like the Kosuke clan, but like solely for that reason, like the extremely winner Gordon's father might have straight away sent out the order to like all samurais or Kosuke samurais to precisely track down and eliminate all the remaining Kurosumi clan members in living in like the land of Mana as well as their in innocent descendants as well. Solely for like the villainous act of like just a minority of like the Kurosumi clan. So like that much might be like how extreme of like a villain like the Odin's father might have actually been definitely my person to emulation and he might have been like an extremely selfish character who might have basically ensured his own safety by even after him faced with like the realization that it was even Orochi's villainous role 20-year role was all like basically Orochi's retaliation against like his villainism the villainism done by Odin's father. Like even after realizing all that, like Odin's father might have been like totally extremely selfish that he might have precisely found this. He might have precisely for like the past 20 years might have hidden himself in this like precise cave under which like this city, the old land of Wano was like basically. And that way, ensuring to like selfishly protect himself and his own safety alone, while like the remaining and the entirety of the remaining of like the land of Wano was like suffering, going through all that extreme suffering for like the past 20 years. Like he might have only selfishly prioritized his own safety and might have even secretly stored food as well in that size cave under which like the old land of Wano was. So definitely my taking severe impression. Yeah, so like definitely my taking severe impression that I'm still thinking on this basically that like back in like the voice of the race, Toki might have definitely been like the wife of like the ancient ancestor Momonosuke, ancient and ancestor Momonosuke. It's definitely my from like the voice and there is definitely my taking severe impression. So Toki might have precisely traveled it might have been precisely the ancient ancestor Momonosuke precisely after and still thinking of that function as well. It might have been like the giant ancient ancestor Momonosuke who might have been absolutely great, formed a great bond of friendship with Joy Boy after Joy Boy saving like the land of Mana from like the White Century. That basically after like Joy Boy's death, like basically and Emos basically instantly taking over and enslaving and forcing Emos like villainous rule and everything all across like the world and erasing all evidence connecting to like Joy Boy and everything. At that point, I was also bringing it might have been definitely like the ancient ancestor of giant ancestor Momonosuke himself that might have created all the morning rest as well as like it might have been his attempt to like bring back Joy Boy through he might have definitely been like the ancient weapon of Pluton, like in like the voids in the race might have been precisely like the ancient giant ancient ancestor moment of the so like he might have precisely because he was like the ancient weapon, like he might his power might have been like an Sirahos being like an ancient weapon, like Poseidon has had like the power to like basically control like the sea kings, like in the case of like the giant ancestor moment of and I'm considering like the mermaid princess from like the voids in the as well might have exactly like Shirahoshi might have had like the might have definitely been like the ancient weapon of Poseidon and might have definitely had like the power to precisely control like the sea kings is definitely not of information. Like I'm also bring like the mermaid princess from like the voice in as well might have been like a giant version of Shirahoshi is definitely not of information. So with like the ancient ancestor Momonosuke being like a giant version of like the present day Momonosuke as well. It's definitely my preference. So like I'm remembering that ancient ancestor Momonosuke basically we might have had that extreme depth and at the bond of friendship towards like Joyboy that basically once Joyboy died like in order to like save the world as well as like in order to bring Joyboy back like we might have only using us like using us like Pluton powers he might have only his Pluton powers might have been reached the power to be able to like see far into like the future. So like I'm considering using that power like you might have only seen that basically in precisely 820 years into like the future, precisely like the next Joy Boy would be like appearing in this world. Make This definitely my person premise. So like we might have precisely then realize that basically not for that to happen like precisely on seeing like the future side like the Jan and Super Moment of Kim might have already seen that in order for that to happen precisely his like wife Sophie has to like travel 800 years into like the future and basically he might have also seen that basically his wife Sophie won't be able to like see like the return of like Joy Boy as well in her lifetime, even after traveling 800 years into like the future as well. Like we might have not even seen like Tokyo's death and everything. So precisely this act of like basically sending Tokyo 800 years into like the future might have been precisely for like Tokyo to like give birth to like Momonosuke so that like through Momonosuke to the present day Momonosuke so that like through Momonosuke seeking help from Luffy like basically eventually it being resulting in like the prophecy being true the prophecy which will be precisely also would be like precisely written by like the ancient ancestor moment of the after seeing his like future sight 820 years into like the future like he might have added all that details into like the precise Poneglyph that will be present even in like the present Laughtale which like the Lord Roger might have totally seen on making it to Laughtale and might have gained all that information through precisely Odin and hence why Roger even like wishing that he would stay Roger who was like on the end of his journey and was about to die with like terminal illness, even badly wishing that he could be alive during the time of Joy Boy. While Roger was like well and fully aware that basically in just 20 more years, like basically Joy Boy would be making his return. It's definitely my consideration, but like back then, Roger might have only assumed that like that Joy Boy will be most likely yeah, like that Roger Meret only assumed that like by having a child, like basically he's like she could be like the return of like the next Joy Boy and all that. Definitely my it could be like the next Joy Boy and all that. So like definitely my impression that precisely to for like the next Joy Boy like after seeing like the through like the future side like the giant ancestor Momonosuke from like the voice in the ring after seeing through like the future side in order to for like the precise return of like Joy Boy to like the thing happen like him realizing that his wife Rocky needs to travel 800 years not 820 but like 800 years into like the future and give birth to like Momonosuke and basically the present day Romanovsky and basically so Romanovsky seeking the help of Lucy, like basically eventually precisely the prophecy would be ending up through and basically precisely what he saw in future that in order for it to precisely come through like precisely his wife having to travel 800 days into like the future give birth to like Romanovsky and basically Romanovsky that way Romanovsky seeking the help of Lucy and Lucy coming to like the land of Wano and fighting against like the descendants, like the 800 and 800 year or about 800, around 800 year descendant of like the ancient ancestor of the Kurosami clan, like which is like the present day style of like Onigashima belongs to, and basically that being like the present day Kaido, and basically him fighting in this like fight against Kaido, like that precise Luffy character basically being having this also awakening and becoming the becoming Joy Boy, and that way that would be how Joy Boy would be making his return. So I'm considering the ancient ancestor moment of stay from the void century might have seen for this through the laser type powers, and basically like precisely Toki might have left the land of Wano that's currently under the sea. Back then Toki might have used her and so in the case of Toki it might have been a devil throat that might have allowed Toki to even be able to travel into the future, certainly not the grand. So Toki might have traveled from the void century from this precise land of Wano under the sea and basically after traveling 800 years, basically once Toki had made it to the land of Wano, she had basically the land of Wano she saw was basically the present day land of Wano that's about the old land of Wano. So Toki left from back in the world center from the land of Wano under the sea and after 800 years Toki time traveling reached the land of Wano that's above the sea, the new land of Wano. It's definitely my personal theory and prediction as to what might have happened and according to everything my personal theory and prediction is exactly true. Yeah, so definitely my personal theory and prediction right now is that basically there is a huge wall constructed and created surrounding the old land of Wano, and basically it might have all been perfectly done by perfectly the ancient Asian and Thermometer of Kid. It's definitely my first three emergence. So he might have perfectly done it with and he might have perfectly done it after the death of Joy Boy and after such he might have Jan and moment of he might have sent off his wife Toki to 800 years into the future after sending her off and after the Jan and the moment of they had even created this ultimate road Poneglyph in the land of Wano, which might have definitely had it might definitely be having I'm considering that red Poneglyph in the land of Wano, which would be definitely present in that precise city of the land of Wano under the water. So certainly and that road Poneglyph will be containing information as to the entire a lot of history concerning the land of Wano from the void century as well the connection to the ancient weapon Pluton and the Jain ancestor Momonosuke and the Call of Onigashima as well as basically Toki being the Jain ancestor Momonosuke who was the shogun during the void century, his wife being Toki and him having sent his wife Toki 800 years into the future and all that all this kind of information would be present and also information as to basically the land of Wano being present where exactly the Poneglyphs is basically even that information as well might have been only written in that precise Poneglyph. So initially the giant ancestor Momonosuke might have totally written all that information into the Poneglyphs and basically even though that might detailed all the events that happened concerning the land of Wano from the void century and considering the giant and Momonosuke himself might have only because he might have done all that precisely during the time while he moved and even information about Imu as well might have definitely been written in that precise Poneglyph in the land of Manos definitely might have been written information as to Imu being the precise person that was that going around that after Joyber's death being the reason behind Joyber's death as well as Imu totally wiping out being the reason emo towards the end of the void century after Jonas with wiping out and destroying all sorts of information connecting to the void century and everything. Is definitely all this information might have been detailed and put into written into the Poneglyphs in the landman under the water by the giant ancestor ancient ancestor Momonosuke. It's definitely my personal opinion. So he might have definitely wanted the information contained in that single road Poneglyph might have been so extremely hard to believe. He might have written all the information after seeing the future fight 820 years into the future certainly my business revolution. As for the events taking place 820 all the way up to 820 years into the future, he might have only seen the journals, the moments he might have only seen. So he might have only figured that basically for the people that would be like eventually like finding out the precise like Poneglyphs 820 years later, like the precise people that will be figuring out and reading like the information contained in the like around Poneglyphs in like the land of Wano under like the sea, basically for them to like be able to like deliver the contents of like that Poneglyph, like it would be extremely hard to like believe. So like precisely in order for the contents contained in like that Poneglyph to be believable and that the cutting precisely the giant and the Monastery might have already decided that basically in order to make it believable and convincing, like he might have decided to like preserve like the land of Wano from like the void century, and that might be the precise reason for like him creating like the walls around like the land of Wano. After like, creating that professor of electronic, like he might have only he creating like the giant wall like of like the old land of Wano. He might have only with like the precise and conscious intent that basically that way to prevent like the seawater from like eventually like definitely method only like foreseen like prevent the surprise method only seen like basically seawater levels like rising across the world and everything. So like I'm just wondering, like to prevent like the land of Wano from like the void century being destroyed by with like if they getting if having contact with like sea levels as like years and years, hundreds of years past like basically, and that way for like the original land of Wano to prevent like the original land of Wano from being like disintegrating and like with like haste, so that like the scenario doesn't happen in a way in which like 800 years passing and basically like absolutely nothing of like the land of Wano even remaining at all. Nothing of the original land of Wano even remaining at all under the sea. Like so shortly to like prevent such a scenario. 800 years into like the future to probably prevent such a scenario like I'm also trying to precisely preserve, ensure that like the original land of Wano is preserved. Like the giant ancestor Momonosuke might have precisely created this giant wall surrounding like the original land of Wano and basically might precisely with the conscious intent that basically eventually rainwater will be collecting around it within like 800 years. Even in like 800 years, by the time like 800 years will be passing to like the future, like basically the rainwater would have fully collected, and that way like basically the original land of Wano would be like would be remaining hidden from Imu, so that like especially like during that time when when like the dinosaur monastery might have created all this wall like precisely we might have been destroying all sorts of evidence connecting to like Joy. So like dinosaur monastery might have not expected to move to like eventually show up here as well to like the land of Wano to destroy like all sorts of evidence contained in like the land of Wano, and the bring especially also things like the information detailed out in like the rock or in like the original land of Wano might have been so extremely precious information like I was delivering, like even like the giant people, the giant ancestral monarchy might have precisely created all the vulnerabilities, like the precise intent that created in such a manner so that it would be like indestructible. Still, like he might have only figured that basically, like even though like the vulnerabilities are indestructible, still if like he finds out like the information that he has detailed in like the road monolith in like the land manner, then he would totally at least transport it and hide it somewhere in like the world. So basically, so that like, and Emo would be trying to make ensure that absolutely no one in like the world will be getting access to like the knowledge, the internet stuff, moment of the have detailed onto that road monitor. So like to prevent such a possibility and to precisely hide that road monitor in like the original land of Mano and like the original land of Mano from Emo, precisely like the internet stuff, moment of might have created with like giant war and basically might have precisely even Turkey itself created like another land of Wano on top of like the volcanic on around like the top areas of like the volcanic mountain, so as like that way to maybe even trick Timu that basically so as like trick Timu that basically the ancient ancestral monarchy through his like future like might have only seen like maybe as like the 800 years passed into like the future, like at some point like Timu might have only showed up to like the land of Anon to see if like there's like any like maybe like might have taken Timu like great number of years for Timu to basically eradicate all sorts of evidence connecting to like Joy Boy. So like eventually I'm considering it might be like towards the end of like that journey of Timu, that Timu might have only reached like the land of Wano and basically to precisely like check if like there's any evidence connecting to Joy Boy in like the land of Wano. So like at that point I was considering so filled like through like the future sight ability like the giant ancestral monastery might have only seen like the first time in which like emoji showing up to like the land of Mano. So like precisely like he might have only calculated to that precision such a man that precisely by the time would be showing up to like the land of Mano and like precisely water needs to be filled within like the vault and basically another land of Mano to be precisely by then should be built on like the top portions of like the top area portions of like the volcano so that like people they tricking you into thinking that that's like the original land of Wano. So that like even after going through and checking through that specific land of Wano won't be finding out at all about like or realizing at all about like the true original land of Wano and like the true well detailed information containing road chronicles existing right under that fake land of Wano. It's definitely my personal remember. So like according to this plan, like the Jan and the moment of might not only execute that his things and basically that would be the precise reason for like the present day land of Mano even being like the way it is with like it having like the original land of Mano like so far down under it buried under like the sea and yet like at the same time like it's not the sea and it's like rainwater and precisely rainwater to precisely ensure that like that land of Mano original land of Mano remains protected is definitely my personal so that like the information contained in that road poneglyph in that original land of Mano will be believable to like people 800 years into like the future. This is definitely my consideration and perception. So like right now the little different thing for like the city agreed to like separately take Robin to like the red phonic underwater and basically Robin on reading that red phonic and gaining the knowledge like at that point I was different like not only Robin but like I was different Robin first of all being like totally and absolutely shocked and once like Robin would be revealing that information to like Law as well as like because it's so even the two of them as well would be like totally shocked and absolutely shocked because like that Poneglyph would be like through that Poneglyph, like the three of them would be like straight away finding out the precise reason as for like there even existing like a land of Wano like under like the so far under like the current land of Wano and basically like the precise reason as for like rainwater collecting like wall basically built around that portion land of Wano like all that information detailed out like the Poneglyph was preparing for like all of them to like realize on like with like the moment Robin would be like reading that Poneglyph for Poneglyph which is definitely my personal interest also like definitely my personal connection right now. But like Tengu saying like the road poneglyph like from farther down from like the road poneglyph like Pluton is like I'm interpreting like to be precisely the grave of like precisely underwater grave of precisely the ancient ancestor moment of the giant ancient ancestor moment of from like the void century. That would be what I like precisely like what and like I was totally nothing like him having like Tengu having like absolutely no idea at all that basically as to like what that means that basically the ancient weapon would as like Tengu will be having absolutely no idea as to like what the ancient weapon would gonna like basically like the only thing they would be knowing would be just this writing that or like this like knowledge that might be passed down since like the ancient past that basically the ancient weapon Pluton lies farther down from where exactly the red road run is. That would be the only information we think would be annoying. But like in actuality, I'm going to talk about like the right that what it would precisely mean would be that like it would be precisely referring to like the underwater grave of precisely the giant ancient and phenomenon. Especially because like the giant ancient and phenomenon might have been like the uh, might have been like the very first ancient might have been known by the Gothi clan since back in like the Western areas like the ancient weapon Pluton might have been known and seen by like the people of like the of the land of Wano back in like the Western areas like the ancient weapon Pluton. It's definitely my person remember, especially because of him like having like the power to be able to like see into like the future so far into like the future and all that. It's definitely my person remember. Also like my particular impressions are like even back in like the voice in the release might have been only like the ancient weapon group on that, like the giant mountain escape from like the voice century. It might have been only him that might have been able to like actually communicate and speak to Zunisha. It's definitely my personal realization. While even Joy Boy, who like Zunisha's partner, might have definitely not had like the powers to actually speak to Zunisha. Joy Boy might have only been able to like sense like Zunisha or like sense how Zunisha is feeling. Like Joy Boy might have definitely from like the voice century might have definitely not have had like the power to like actually communicate and speak to Zunisha. Might have been that solely due to like the ancient weapon Pluton that power of that it provides to precisely the giant ancient ancestor moment of scale. What might have been the period the source reason for like exactly like currently right now the present day moment of scale can is like the only person that can probably speak to like Tunisia and communicate with like Tunisia and the brains might have been the very same thing way back in like the void century as well. That's like it only being like the giant ancestor ancient ancestor moment of scale one who was able to like communicate and speak to like Tunisia even back then. Back when like the bond of friendship might have been formed between like the giant ancestor moment of scale and George Boy for like by saving like the original land of Wano from like the ancient ancestor giant of Kaido. That's like the Robinson clan. It's definitely my personal ambition. So like definitely my personal ambition right now. That like Tengu making the reveal that is me opening like the world of the land of Wano will like unleash like the ancient weapon gold on like definitely my personal ambition that like eventually once like the world of the land of Wano will be open like the only thing that would be revealed would be like straight away it will be just like the city of like with like the breaking and taking down of like the giant walls surrounding like the land of Wano. Basically, at that point, like basically the original land of Wano would be like revealed, and in that original land of Wano, original old land of Wano, in there like I'm there will be like precisely the grave of like the giant ancestor Momonosuke, and in that grave, this would be used where like precisely in that grave, it would be like the oppressed power of like the ancient considering like it would certainly return in that grave of like the giant ancestor Mauna Kea that basically my descendant like 800 years into like the future, my descendant would be like surprisingly 800 years into like the future, like my descendants would like inherit my power of Pluton. It's like the would be along the lines it would be revealed and basically the fact that Pluton, like the ancient weapon Pluton power, the power to be able to like see into like the future and the power to be able to like communicate with like Tunisia, basically um, these two information as well that I'm reporting to be precisely written on to like the grave of like the giant and ancient and the escape from like the void century. It's definitely my personal impression. So like so like right now my personal impression that like in that road Poneglyph like what Robin would be precisely finding would be precisely that like in order to like would be like even in like the road Poneglyph I'm referring Robin totally like finding like very same information that basically Tengu might tell Tengu's right now telling Robin and Law that basically opening like the borders of like the land of Wano would be unleashing like the ancient weapon to the phone. Like in like the precise like I'm something like in that precise road point like it would be only either written that basically the ancient weapon blue town is like present right under like further down under like exactly like Tengu said or like I'm considering it might be written that basically destroying like the borders of the land and would unleash like the ancient weapon global. This would be only in the detail connecting to like Pluton that would be like recommended the role on which definitely my person to the and so, like, it will be like mainly through, it will be precisely through like the grave of like once like the borders will be open, it will be precisely through the grave of like the giant ancient ancestor moment of that will be present in like that original land of Mano. That it will be through that embassy cutting like moment of will be eventually through reading the contents of like that that's written in like that grave, like moment of coming to the realization that moment of as and I'm delivering doing this is just moment of scale, like I'm delivering moment of scale, Robin, and Law, like all of them, like realizing that basically moment of case, like the ancient weapon close on, and it's like the character of like that, those powers, like the giant hero, ancient ancestor moment of scale from like the void century, of the like basically moment of scale, realizing that basically that way that he's like the ancient weapon close on in like the present. It's definitely my personal opinion. This will be because it would be precisely through like Mominosky reading like the contents of like the contents of like the grave of like the ancient ancestor Mominosky, that Mominosky will be gaining like the knowledge and awareness that he is like the present day ancient different Pluton, and basically the precise exact powers that Mominosky currently actually possess even right now, which like Mominosky haven't realized, which would be definitely be like the future fight powers of Mominosky, as well as like the uh, as well as like the power to like speak and control Tunisia. That like moment of fear, realizing that would be like what's referred to as like the unleashing, or would be actually meant by unleashing like the ancient weapon Pluton. Like Mominovsky gaining that awareness is like Mominovsky being unleashed as like that ancient weapon Pluton. It's definitely my personal friend. So like this time my personal impression that like even though it like the voice center definitely Tunisia was like the partner of Joy Boy. So like I'm considering like wherever and Joy Boy definitely was like the giant is definitely my personal impression. So like wherever Joy Boy went, like basically always like Joy Boy would be like going by riding on top of like the giant Tunisia. It's definitely my personal impression. So like in the present, like definitely since like Luffy is like part of like the straw hat crew, and Luffy would be like in the present day Joy Boy Luffy would be only traveling through his like thousand funny and like the straw hat crew, but like in the present day like the changes would be that precisely in the case of Momonosuke would be like the precise partner. Eventually, they definitely ending up being like the partner of Tunisia. It's definitely my personal impression, and it would be precisely moment of that would be like eventually like riding on top of Tunisia and controlling Tunisia and taking part in in like serious future wars that will be eventually taking place in like the world of One Piece in like the future. It's definitely my passenger impression. So like definitely my passenger impression right now is that like Gordon wanted to like unleash the Pluton. Like Gordon consciously knew what we were doing while Gordon had basically even told like retainers that tools that basically they have to like open up like the borders of like the land of Wano and all was definitely my passenger impression, because like that during that time like basically Gordon had already went to like Lampel and gained all the knowledge from like the which from like a great number of opponents that might have had like all sorts of information connecting to like the happenings of like the world century and like to like the Andaman and everything is definitely my impression. But like through those information, like precisely what I might have gained the knowledge that basically the friends for like the friends of Joy Boy from like the world century were like basically moment of state were like moment of state from like the land of Wano was like one of like the best friends of like Joy Boy from the Joy Century. Like basically all this information might have only detailed in it. So like at that point, like Gordon might have been totally shocked at the realization that basically his own he had that basically Gordon had accidentally named his own son Momonosuke. Or like I'm looking for it might have been like might have been like maybe Toki might have totally in like because like Toki might have had like absolutely no knowledge as for like precisely why exactly maybe like the ancestor moment giant ancestor moment escape while sending Loki to like the 800 years into like the future, telling Loki to like travel for this 800 years into like the future. Like you might have only know Loki to like precisely like do everything in your power to like basically bring back Joy Boy. Might have been like the only thing that the giant ancestor moment might have told Loki while hiding all the details of like what was about with what lied await for Turkey after like precisely 800 years. So traveling precisely 800 years is certainly my personal dream. So like I'm considering precisely what might have happened would be like it might have been like either Turkey like totally because like Turkey still might have totally not forgotten about like her memories of like the giant ancestor moment of the like her husband from like the void century. It's definitely not the permissible. Like maybe it might have been probably due to that the memory of like the giant and phenomenon that one of that maybe it might have been Toki that might have decided on like might have told Odin to like name their son as like moment of by the name moment of Kate. Definitely remember in the remembers. So like Odin might have been totally shocked at like basically the information that he had learned from like the Poneglyphs in like Laughter. He saw like the name Momenosuke there in like the Poneglyphs there in like Laughter, like being like this ancient ancestor of like the possibility plan from like the voice century and all that. Like basically like a possibility scenario that I'm looking on the front. So like I'm looking through that like we might have totally learned that how like giant ancestor Momonosuke had like the power to like see forward into like the future and had like the power to like speak to like Junisha. So like all this might have been extremely shocking to uh, extremely shocking to Odin back then, especially my working parents, and also realizing at that point that basically as like why his like son's name currently is like Momonosuke ended up being like potentially Momonosuke basically. So like Odin might have realized that basically that and it might have also written that basically the inherit 800 potentially 800 years into like the future, like 800 or like 850 years into like the future, like especially like those responders in like left might have detailed out like information about like the three ancient weapons, like one being Poseidon, one being Pluton, and like the other ancient weapon would be most likely regardless of its name and the thing like I think that there are three ancient weapons. So like the third ancient weapon might actually be especially it might also be the media for Malabar, especially anyway like the detail about like Shira how she about like the mermaid princess from like the Void Century being like the Poseidon ancient weapon from the Void Century, and like the giant moment of from the Void Century being like the Pluton ancient weapon from the Void Century, and like the Joy Boy being like this warrior from like the Void Century who connects all these three ancient weapons. Like all this might have totally detailed out. So like I'm going to bring uh, what might have done would be like uh, precisely when the Joy Boy died, like precisely 820 years later, like Joy Boy would be making a return. And it wouldn't just be Joy Boy, like the ancient weapons as well would be like making their return as well. Might have been what might have been written in those Poneglyphs in lab tale that Gordon might have totally gained the knowledge from or that way back when Gordon had like went to lab tale, the name of the thing. So like those phonographs and laptops might have detailed about like how like he knows like the true villain like that he knows like the true villain and the thoughts behind like the depth of even though it might have definitely been according to the it might have definitely been Tunisia that might have taken George's life like it might have definitely we know that might have only manipulated and brainwashed like and tricked Tunisia into like basically turning against Joy Boy and basically through trickery and like a betrayal might be precisely how like Tunisia might have taken Joy Boy's life and it might have only happened like the middle of the sea with like Joy Boy ending up drowning due to like Tunisia. It's definitely my personal opinion. So like the fact that people is like the cost behind like Joy Boy's step and basically since then like basically has been like back in like the voice of the was like the villain that was like again like that is always trying to like take the life of like Joy Boy and basically being like the villain character from like the voice in the to like created all the slavery and everything in like the voice in the and everything might have been detailed out in like those chronicles. So like I'm considering that way, like the realization that like even to 820 years later, 800 years later, still he knows that precise villain is still alive because of being like an immortal like all that might have maybe like detailed out in that precise chronicle like name of the rendition. So like Odin might not only realize that basically so like the actual true villain for like this world to like get justice and for the world to be free and for the justice and everything like should be brought down like that might have been what like a Roger as well as like Roger as well as Forden as well as all of them might have the information they might have all gained precisely after going through like one of the things after it's definitely went to the rhythm. Hence why like precisely like Roger might have been totally it seems to like see like the downfall of Emu and that might be the reason for like Odin wishing that he could stay he could be alive for like 20 more years when like Joy Boy will be making his return precisely because this might have been definitely what like all of them after like seeing like the all of the Roger pirates who thought they were like the central figure and they were like the top pirates in like the top strongest people in like the world they lived in during then like uh, they they might not only came to like Lapel thinking it along such lines and having such a mindset and after going through the gaining like the knowledge from like the Poneglyphs, great number of Poneglyphs in Lapel and finding out about Joy like basically might get that point that they might not only realize how big and significant their strength and might is when compared to like the original strength of like Joy that is written back in like the world century. So like I'm referring, they might have realized that basically even though in food trickery might have taken the life of Joy back in like the void century. and so that way like get the rolled over like the world in like the business manner for like 800 years like still they might have after going through like the information in like the one of the in like after like they might have said that if Roger Maris might have thrown it up out of like maybe like the excitement and like that might have disappointment as well might have existed that basically they might have all been like impatiently waiting for like basically 20 years to pass so that like the boy will be making his return so that like uh this time like they might have had like their absolute hope up at that point that basically even though Joy Boy had failed back in like the voice century, like the next time Joy Boy would be making his return, like in 20 years, like basically at that point, like definitely most likely he would be brought down by Joy Boy. Joy Boy would most likely get his revenge and most likely be brought down through like the next time Joy Boy would be making his return. So like that might have been like, absolutely and extremely exciting for like the Roger Pirates and maybe that might have been like the reason for like their laughter and the disappointment might have been there might have been like disappointment that they create the Roger Pirates would stay at the Roger Pirates to 20 more years, particularly due to like their captain Roger like about to die, like also might go into emergency. So definitely like Odin after training all this knowledge like basically Odin basically wanted precisely like as soon as possible for like the Odin at that point might have been like totally impatient to like basically get back to like the land of Manas as quickly as possible and precisely and as soon as possible like destroy like the borders of like the land of Manas so that like in 20 years precisely as Joyboy will be making it to like the land of Wano at that point like basically like like the descendant the long like 800 year old 800 year descendant of like the Joyboy from like the void century as well as like the long descendant of like the giant ancestor woman of King basically them eventually having like meeting up what that basically that might have also been written in like the Poneglyphs in like laughter that basically they would be like having their faithful reunion in precisely 20 more 820 years. It's like roughly my thousand they will be making their return and they will be having their faithful reunion after like 820 years might have been also written. So like it's actually by the time like Jordan will be making it in like 20 years in like the land of Mano. Before that, like Odin might have been extremely important for like Odin to like ensure that like the borders of like the land of Mano are destroyed and basically so that like not only Jordan would be making a return, but like his sons and Momonosuke as well would be able to like make like a return by unleashing like the power of Pluton and just like Odin realizing that like his son the little Momonosuke is basically like the return of like the ancient weapon Pluton from like the voice and during all like Odin might have totally been well and fully aware while Odin was like sort of trying to like destroy the border of like the land of Manos, definitely remember independence and precisely that Odin wanted like Joyboy and Momonosuke to like basically uncover the truth about like the history of like the land of Wano through and for them to like find out through the breaking of the borders like and like the borders being removed like basically then Odin wanted like Joyboy like the Joyboy in 20 years as well as like the some moment of scared to like basically like find out about like the history and find out about like Timo being like the villain and basically find out about like the original land of Mano and like that way like for like his son to as like the weapon float on like moment of escape to be to have access to his like powers, intact powers and everything. So basically, so that like together they would all be like turning again, like that together they would all be like figuring out that way, and then was running that in that original, especially I'm considering like in that Poneglyph as well as like in that original city of like land of Wano under like the field, like definitely there will be like information containing to that basically would be revealing that is like the actual true villain that have been alive since like the and like also suffering to like the world since like the voice and the ring. So like basically that way to like finally get like Joy Boy like with Joy Boy as well as like Orange and Pluton like basically making the return and basically like the weapon as well as Joy Boy making the return and basically to that way get them to like turn against so that like they would all team up and work together into like eventually with that common goal to like eventually bring down emo so that like the world will be freed of like emo and basically so that like even though like Jogo from like the Void Century has failed to like bring down emo at least like through the return of like Joy Boy, like basically the Kimo will be brought down and like the world will be free of Kimo. Like this might have been definitely eventually this might have been definitely what Odin might have wanted, like not just Odin but like the other pirates as well might have wanted after like discovering all the information in Laughter. It's definitely my theory and prediction. So like this would be like that ultimate goal of Odin, for which like Odin might have been like the threat to like basically destroy like the boss of the brand and the fan, especially not the direction. Okay, so like definitely my question to direction right now is that like even though I think the important and highlighting of like the ancient weapon Pluton is like right now happening and basically even though still I'm probably role playing moment of care would definitely be like the ancient weapon Pluton. Still might have been direction definitely for like the current battle between like moment of care and like an RPG but different definitely for like a moment we need to like not interfere like but different like moment of care not being able to like think along the lines of like basically seek with the help of Tunisia to precisely defeat Rocky. It's like definitely my personal generation and even if like and I'm considering like Tunisia not even being able to like even like help out a moment of care. Specifically because of like the fight even taking place in like the within like the land of within like the soft land of Wano and especially was it like Tunisia was to even try to like help them like definitely the process like actually like the possibility of like the borders of the land of Mano being open uh being getting open will be like extremely seriously high. So certainly my person remembering. So like definitely a moment of this is like moment of stay will be able to like definitely see a bit further into like the future and especially because of that like will be the preparation for like Mominos even deciding to not open up like the land of Wano for the land of Wano right now, especially when like I'm considering like by seeing a bit forward into like the future like Mominos might have also seen like basically maybe like the Blackbeard maybe like those like villain of enemy pirates like appearing to like the land of Wano which would be particularly the Blackbeard pirates. So like I'm considering the last thing Nominosky would want would be for like them like basically and Nominosky might have been persuaded able to sense that they would be like extremely powerful. So like to keep the land man protected and protected from those pirates would be like the treasure and especially like Nominosky would be like well and fully aware that currently Booth is like extremely exhausted. So like and because of all this collectively because of all this reason like precisely to keep like the land of Mano currently protected and Mominasky will be certainly able to also, after reading through his like future side, like Mominasky might have also seen that basically those villain pirates who are basically after like Luffy, Blackbeard pirates who are after Luffy. So like my doesn't be impression that it might be either through like Mominasky's like future side Pluton powers like that might have like temporarily been activated precisely as like the or like Wano might have been over, or like it might have activated precisely when like Lucy had turned into gear 5, especially another possibility when I budget or something. Uh, so like I'm considering like definitely would be either through just like a temporary future side power that future side power that might lie within like Momonosuke that Momonosuke temporarily had access to that Momonosuke might have been able to like foresee that basically the not only like the Shanks or Red Pirate ships, but like also like the Blackbeard crew as well, like going up outside of like the land where and Dominic might have been able to sense that those were like exceptionally strong fighters, like maybe along the levels of Emperor as well, like Momonosuke might have been able to like sense and basically these and Momonosuke might have also seen like the navy ship, great number of navy ships as well outside as well through the future site as well. So, 11% remember. So like especially things like the wars war like essentially like the war with the Kaido and Bignum was only just now over like maybe it might be precisely because of that reason like according to Momonosuke's plan like Momonosuke might be totally planning on like basically not Momonosuke wouldn't want like the border of the land of Wano like right now being open precisely to prevent like all of the those villains from like entering and infiltrating into like the land of Wano. So like Momonosuke might want like them more to like and Momonosuke might not only been able to also sense that the thing they were all after like Lucy. It's also definitely my personal memory. So like I'm honestly might be planning on like patiently waiting it out and basically having all of them like basically like so that like basically with the borders of like none of them would be able to like enter into like the land of Wano with their pirate ships. So like basically at least to have them like leave and basically stand for Momonosuke like after they would all be like, leaving Momonosuke would be planning on like opening up like the borders of like the land of Wano and with along with like Luffy and then letting Luffy leave like the land of Wano that way. Definitely and that way to like precisely save Luffy and everything and everyone is definitely my favorite bring this. So my personal remember is that someday that this might be like the plan of Momonosuke and I'm also trying it might be either through Momonosuke's like temporary access to the like the site Pluton or more like it might be through Unisha Lucia itself, like basically communicating and like having like an unrevealed conversation with like Momonosuke, or Lucia might have revealed to Momonosuke while like the foreign like man was like or like maybe Lucia might have only communicated or like Lucia might have only communicated to Momonosuke that basically about like all these like enemies like showing up outside of like being present and showing up and even on their way showing up to like the land of Wano. Basically, Tunisia might not only see the even like the Blackbeard Pirates like as like Indonesia was like making his way towards like the land of Wano as well. But also like maybe like my first remembers. So like either it might be through like Tunisia communication through Momonosuke that maybe through Tunisia that Tunisia might have been the first person that might have revealed to Momonosuke about like enemies lying away outside like the land of Wano or even approaching like the land of Wano or like it might be through like Momonosuke's like temporary access to his like Pluton phase of like powers that basically Momonosuke might have decided to like keep the borders of like the land of Wano closed temporarily right now. It's definitely my positive impression. And delay the opening of like the borders of like the land of Wano. It's definitely my positive impression. And my positive impression is definitely that like especially because of this reason, like definitely maybe would be the such a reason for like Momonosuke even while Momonosuke can communicate with like Bunisha, Momonosuke not even calling out for like Unica might be preferred also because of this reason because like Momonosuke might definitely fear that if he when she even tries to like help Momonosuke out right now in Momonosuke fight against Rokuyu then like in that attempt like basically the borders of like the land of Wano actually being getting opened so like that to prevent such a possibility might be like the reason for like maybe Momonosuke not falling out for like the help of Unisha that's like one possibility anyway like my personal impression is that like eventually once like Rokuyu would be defeated like I'm also preferring definitely so precisely because of this reason definitely I'm also preferring uh, like definitely I'm also preferring like Momonosuke would be definitely not standing a chance at all. Even though, like, I'm specifically remember that Momonosuke is definitely the weapon, ancient weapon Pluton, and even though like emphasis to like the ancient weapon Pluton and importance to like the ancient weapon Pluton is like right now happening. Basically, still my reason that like in Momonosuke fight against like Rokuyo definitely I'm personally definitely putting like one of the like definitely not even give at all a challenging fight at all to like Rocky and one of the most definitely about to like the hands of Rocky will be perfect to the point where Lucy will be showing up and definitely I'm also putting okay, so like I definitely my basic impression right now that like Shanks as well as Blanket and right now as they are like heading to like the land of Anna, they would be like totally thinking about they around the lines of like basically they could like so casually enter into like the land of Anna just like any other island and basically meet up with like Luffy and get back like when from Luffy will be like got like Shanks and Ben Beckman will be coming right now. They will be thinking that they would be having like absolutely no idea at all as for like the boundaries of like the land of Wano and basically that making it almost impossible to like for them to like even make it through like the land enter into like the land of Wano that they won't be like currently like both Shanks as well as like when they're heading to like the land of Wano, they will have absolutely no idea the existence of those barriers of definitely my permission. That's because it's like Shanks as well as Ben Beckman and the friends to like not at all possess any sort of level of power like and they're totally different. They won't be able to like fly at all. It's definitely or like climb up like the waterfall leading to like the high waterfall leading to like the land of miners. Definitely my Tundra. So like precisely because of the reason I'm Tundra only thing. Neither Shank basically Shank as well as Penguin as like they would be like lying to like the remaining crew members and heading close to like the land of one of them being faced with the borders and like then totally being confused as to like how exactly so Empire might have made it to like the land of Mana and basically I'm personally totally putting that. while precisely during that would be when precisely something like the Blackbeard pirates would be precisely showing up to and spotting would be precisely for spotting like the red hair pirates strictly meant to be as well. Like at that point, I was there only protecting the Blackbeard should only see I have a feeling that basically the red hair pirates as well might be totally after like Luffy's number thing. And so like Blackbeard, the being like it's like Blackbeard only being acting out in like an extremely overconfident manner, like and then preparing Blackbeard straight away attacking like the red hair pirates ship as well as like their crew. It's like the scenario that I'm putting and I'm putting most likely a ship battle as well as like um a ship battle as well as like crew members like basically attacking each other as well. Like using developer powers as well. Definitely the scenario that I'm remembering. So like I'm considering like during this while this battle would be taking place like the Red Hat Pirates crew would be like totally feeling like kind of scared, especially because of like Shanks as well as Ben Batman's like not being present in their crew at that point. So like I was considering straight away as like the Blackbeard pirates would be attacking like the Red Hat pirate ship. Like at that point itself, like I was departing like one of like the Red Hat pirate crew members like quickly calling Shanks using the them and telling updating Shanks about like the situation. I was like the Blackwood the pirates like basically attacking them like basically. So at that point I came to the for departing Shanks as well as like Ben Beckman decided to return back and basically then I was departing Shanks and Ben Beckman returning back and like then like a huge battle between like a huge yet like a battle that doesn't get right now like a battle that will be taking place for a long time. This definitely another generation that between like Blackbeard and Shanks and like basically the Blackbeard pirates as well as the Red Hat pirates would be taking place and like that through that battle I'm preparing like both the two teams like taking a lot of injuries, especially my person generation. So then both they're only putting like them taking a lot of injuries and both their ship like taking significant damage as well. It's like the scenario that I'm taking the and and finally I'm also bringing chance totally shouting out to like Blackbeard that basically there's no way to like enter into like the land of Wano. Basically it has like two borders set up. And basically by then like I'm also bringing both Blackbeard and Shanks would be like through that cold war that would be taking place, like ship war that would be taking place, like I'm remembering both the Blackhead pirates as well as Red Hat pirates, like taking like a lot of like having a lot of losses, like a lot of damage to their ship, both their ships as well as like their crew members as well as Shanks as well as Blackbeard taking like a lot of damage. It's like the scenario that I'm remembering. So like and being like totally close with like the scenario that I'm remembering. So like I'm considering temporarily maybe like Shanks as well. And like they would be like um and I'm considering like at that point Shanks as well as like the black red hair pirates as well as the blackbeard pirates like deciding to like like temporarily abandon their chase after like Luffy and become so it's definitely my consider of that. Them both heading back to some two different locations like the scenario that I'm referring to like recover and heal up and basically eventually like re-strategize to basically precisely and basically like them deciding to like basically patiently wait until like Luffy leaves the land of Wano and heads off to like Luffy's like next destination so that like there at that point they will be able to like chase up and like catch up and basically get like the Gambun through back from Luffy. Will be what along the lines the Shanks as well as like the Blackbeard Pirates will using like the scenario that I was there on the bring and was in the generation. So like it will be around that time when like after the war like Shanks as well as like the Blackbeard as well as their fire crew will be like heading back to be at that point that I'm also putting like moment of opening up and by then like our video being defeated is also like the by Luffy is also the scenario that I'm delivering and so like at that point I'm delivering to be when like a moment of would be like opening up the borders of like the land of Wano and like Robin and all of them would be like learning of like all the truth, all sorts of truth and like the ancient weapon Pluton Momonosuke being unleashed, like Momonosuke being aware of it, that he is like the ancient weapon Pluton and like the powers he in that line in that sense that like he was of like basically Momonosuke gaining that awareness and basically then like Luffy and like the spot had through after that like basically heading off from like the land of Wano to like the next island to their next island just like the scenario that I'm looking to bring and looking to render. So like the main and corruption right now is that like he's not during that Luffy's whole fight against Kaido, like the even like the elders like totally and he's fearing like Kaido's defeat by the hand of like Luffy and basically as soon as Kaido it appeared as like Kaido was about to be defeated by Luffy, like they straight away like the elder team sending all the navy ships and everything. Basically, it would all be precisely due to that extreme fear that like the elders would be having precisely because like the elders would be definitely exactly like Imu, like elders as well. Definitely first of all elders would be like the son of Imu and like exactly like Imu, like the elders as well might have definitely existed during like the void century. It's definitely not possible. So like they might have totally knew about like the the truth that basically it was like the giant ancestor moment of state from like the void century that has created all the Poneglyphs. And he and the fact that he had created all the Poneglyphs from precisely like the land of Wano. This much might be like information that basically the who as well as like the five elders will be well pretty aware of. So like in that after like she goes like they might have totally so like my conspiracy is like after like creating like after there was like after like creating like the world government might have sent like world government forces like maybe like secret or like forces in like the distant parts like or like ambassador these kind of flying vehicles like basically they might have gotten like world government forces to like search and bomb throughout like the entirety of like the what they believe was like the entirety of like the land of Wano. Uh, which was like the first fake land of Wano, like basically that was like about definitely not in the remission. So there they might have definitely not found anything at all. It's definitely not in the remission. So like they might have not back then like the world might have not even after like bombing throughout like they might have definitely not even found like the road Poneglyph as well. In like the land of Wano as well. So definitely not in the remission. So like I'm talking about it might have been only after that. So like people might have only felt that basically that while getting rid of all the evidence connection to Joy, like even then, like at that point, the movement had always said that it really, even though all those chronicles were created by like the giant ancestor of Mormon escaped precisely from like the land of Wano, basically, like he might have only felt that basically, even though he was like brilliant enough to like scatter out all those chronicles across the world, like he might not be like that extremely naive to like place like chronicles in the precise location like the land of Wano where like she would like totally suspect it. So like I'm considering maybe because of the reason like Imo might have only naively assumed Imo and like the others might have naively assumed that there were no like Boniface or like no history connected or related to anything in like the land of Wano. Might be precisely what Imo as well as like the elders might have only thought like the Basque certainly might have been interesting and that might have been precisely that Imo and the elders totally fought, and they might not only even thought, believe back then that basically the land of Wano actually is exactly like that, like with like walls, like with like high walls, and basically the land of Wano being like a place that's on top of like high walls surrounding it. Might have been, it might be what like it might be like naturally the way like the land of Wano it might have been what like Timo as well as like the elders might have mainly assumed back then. Definitely my personal image and that way like precisely the giant ancestor moment escapes plan and strategy method only works with like him precisely being able to like outsmart Timo and like the elders and basically precisely succeeding in like hiding like the original land of Wano under like sea for all this great number of years might have been what might have happened if the claimant of Prince and then the Chitrangin might have been only recently once like Cairo has taken over like the land of Wano and basically had Jack totally finding out about like the fraud chronicles in like the existence in like the land of Wano one day like it might be at that point that basically Kaido might have like informed because like Kaido had ties with like the world government. Kaido might have only informed that about like, the existence of like, the Road Chronicle to like maybe like the world government is also definitely my passenger influence. So or like Kaido might have not even cared and in like while like the people would be like open due to like the dealings with like the world government while like people would open like to up to like the land of Mana basically maybe but like the weapons dealings with like in places with like the world government after Kaido so like maybe at one point like Kaido might have actually not actually, but like Kaido might have not cared at all, and basically Kaido might have that they revealed to like those people who members about like the existence of like the road Poneglyph in like the land of Wano. At that point might have been only when like the world government like the elders through at that point only when like through those series or members like the elders as well as like might have realized shortly realized the existence of like the road coding, one of like the road coding in like the land of Wano. It's definitely my personal impression. So at that point, but like by then it might have been totally late for like and like the elders and like the government army to like do anything about it, especially due to like kind of having like basically rolled over like the land of Mana at that point. Certainly my parents, or like maybe after the parent like and all of them might have only felt that basically it might be the exact reason that basically and like the elders only feeling that still even in like around point of access like basically still safe as long as like the information contained in that says road poneglyph specific especially in the first land of Wano, the first location where like all the poneglyphs had been initially created, like basically, and the elders might have only, it might have been obvious for them that definitely at that point that basically that poneglyph might contain like one of like the most valuable information, and that would be like detailing out like a lot about like the voice injury and everything. So like the only fear of Timo and like the pilots who are like basically to not have those information fall on the hands of the Joy Boy. So like if Joy Boy ever makes his return, might have been maybe like the or like back then like by then like might have totally and like the might have totally know about like basically Luffy having about like the Jumbo falling into like Luffy's hands and basically still my personal impression that like they might have never expected like Luffy to like make it all the way to like the land of Wano. It's definitely my personal impression. So like I'm whispering it might be precisely because of this reason that basically currently right now that the world government is so extremely desperate to like basically initially like the according to most likely to be according to like the end of orders that basically like they use like the C2 and the C2 are infiltrated into Luffy's kind of right to like facilitate Luffy's like um, that was one strategy of like getting rid of like Luffy and preventing Luffy from turning into Joy and once like Luffy having turned into Joy like right now in like the person like the elders only prioritizing like Robin at that time to move especially due for them being like extremely scared of like basically Robin like basically gaining like the knowledge of like the information contained in that practical information contained in that Poneglyph present which would be definitely relevant, extremely relevant information connected to the voice injury would be one thing that would be obvious for like the elders right now. So like that information reaching like the who is like basically currently like the new joy boy basically that would be what like the world government would be like totally fearing because like currently like uh, that is what not the world government but like the elders and Timo would be totally fearing the Stephanie and particular generation because like right now the elders would be totally feel safe. I think that like the rest of the world have absolutely no idea for like the because like the rest of the world would be the only knowing like the hierarchy only up to like the Celestial Dragon. The fact that there are elders about like the Celestial Dragon and Emo as well, like seeing like Emo being like the ultimate single role of the entire world, like this and the fact that Emo is like a villain basically this they have done villainous act like basically this thing like basically being getting exposed and basically joy by of all people like who's like currently look of all people realizing the true enemy is actually the elders and Timo will be like the last thing that the elders would want and this will be what like the elders will be slowly and extremely fearing right now and hence why they are so desperate right now to at that Robin seeing how like defeating taking the life of Lucy that attempt had that it's definitely my personal reason for to like not have like the information that Robin would be gaining from like the Poneglyph reach Luffy would be like that ultimate to having that information reach Luffy would be like that ultimate fear like the elders would be having right now. It's definitely my personal ambition. So like in short, like the ambition is that it basically exactly what like what I'm going through like the opening of like the borders of like the land of China through that like they eventually through that like especially boy realizing the existence of like the ultimate villain that is basically this would be like the ultimate villain and the ultimate target as like which would be exactly what like as well as like five worlders would be currently extremely fearful about like fearing about is definitely my positive impression that basically like with like the joy vibes. making a certain through Luffy, like basically, like him, that Luffy basically identifying Inu and as such, like his target would be like the last thing that they want, and that one thing that they would have been fearing for like the such this and that would be like such scenario that they like Inu and Extenders might have been fearing for like the past 800 years after like Joyverse death. Like, and this might be the precise reason for like them frantically for like the past 800 years, like searching for like the Gundam Probe to precisely find like the Gundam Probe. Definitely my personal version. This might have been that exact fear that like and like the five elders might have had this past 800 years, while like these past 800 years, like the Gundam Probe were constantly evading them. It's definitely my personal version. Yeah, so like definitely my vegetarian reason right now with like Momonosuke using some Kaido's like black or kind of like attack like still but the fact that would like not even cause any sort of like still not any sort of like a relevant enough damage at all to like the admiral level of Office, well trained Office. It's definitely my vegetarian version. So definitely things like Momonosuke even while using this attack like blast kind of like attack still Kanjarugi absolutely zero parties for like Momonosuke as well as like his retainer current retainer. So definitely my positive impression. So like definitely once again like even after this like blast attack is like Momonosuke still like you're only crushing Momonosuke's like the scenario that I'm everything. And so like I'm interpreting like especially since like Momonosuke has finally realized that basically that his extreme lack in strength and like that sheer strength matters way more that basically than his emotions to like being a shogun and like the land of Wano. Even more than that, like if he wants to protect the it's like precious like it's him and his like retainers needs to like protect the precious land of Wano. Like they would need that absolute sheer strength and power and fighting skills like the things like Momonosuke have and also like I realized that like I'm also like Momonosuke like instilling that realization into like the into his like retainers as well who even after spending all these past years with like modern like still haven't realized it like I'm also finally them being that Momonosuke making them realize like being forced to like make them finally realize that and basically then about the role playing like precisely them all going up to like after like Luffy will be defeating and considering like after Luffy will be defeating Rocky and once again like Momonosuke will be only feeling like embarrassed of like once again relying on like the people who are about to leave like the land of Wano for her pirates like still considering like once like Luffy will be like about to leave like the land of Wano considering like Momonosuke totally telling Luffy that him even vowing to like Luffy that like he would get a lot stronger and he would like even this weekend but like he would be like also ensuring that like the retailers, even after all this great number of years who haven't even worked on their parties will also be like working with their party like and also differing moment of scale to like totally meet the other one basically like to especially when, like I'm considering either Luffy telling moment of scale that like Yogoro thought Luffy about like Yogoro having taught Luffy and playing a major role in like Luffy gaining that sharp increase in strength like basically maybe either Luffy revealing that to Momo or like I'm considering Momo like figuring that out and basically Momo as well as like the just like a retainer like seeking the help of like Kyogoro and Kyogoro teaching all of them, including Momonosuke, like Kyogoro precisely teaching all the retainers about like the Haki version of like the land of that's present in like the land of Wano, like Kyogoro precisely teaching Momonosuke as well as like the retainers like from right of the from like start like as like how to like use Rio and everything and basically Momonosuke as well as the retainers like learning that way learning the basics starting from learning the basics of Rio and basically that way then eventually building up like truly and actually like building them their strength building up their strength and then it will be only like the very distant future that I'm depicting like Momonosuke as well as the retainers will be like reaching the point of like having any sort of like a relevant enough of like strength is definitely my consideration direction. Okay, so like definitely my consideration direction right now was like Shanks finding like the refugees like attack on like the land of Wano while they are exhausted from like the war like faceless like and because of like Shanks right now thinking along such lines I'm considering maybe Shanks would be genuine about that sort of Shanks right now it's definitely my consideration. So like the scenario that I'm considering right now is like Shanks attacking Rocky remotely attacking Rocky Haki, like after thing like the scenario that I'm considering right now, basically for like Rocky should only give up on this plan to like basically attack Luffy and basically Rocky precisely flying back out of like the land of Wano, planning on returning back to like the Navy HQ. But like I'm considering as a Rocky precisely flying out of like the land of Wano, I'm precisely putting Shanks as well as like Ben Beckman like precisely like precisely showing up and basically precisely like totally calling out to Rocky you and basically Rocky you straight away that the scared of Rocky you basically showing up in front of like Shanks and having no other choice but to show up in front of Shanks and basically at that point I was bring Shanks totally telling Rocky you to like to precisely fly in and then that meant to like into like the land of Wano. So like that will be how like Shanks as well as Ben Beckman will be entering into like the land of Wano like my own impression. And there after like entering and the bring Shanks as well as like Ben Beckman like precisely meeting Luffy getting that sports so that extreme surprise unexpected entrance of like Shanks to Luffy's life and they really once again and they really at that point, I was separating Lucy straight away being like so totally being extremely shocked and totally being excited and forward at seeing Shanks and basically like them Shanks and Lucy like basically uh totally getting along and basically like them having like a fun time and all and then was separating like after a while like basically Shanks basically like softly asking like Lucy about like Shanks basically having came to like basically take back the like straw hat that would be what Shanks will be telling. And so like I'm delivering Shanks telling Luffy that and then Shanks like kneeling down in front of Luffy. And I'm delivering Luffy like totally giving the straw hat back to Shanks. Like the scenario that I'm delivering and then like Shanks getting up and asking Luffy like to give Shanks back Luffy's like gun on the first. Shanks would be extremely overconfident at that point, thinking that basically due to like Luffy feeling that extreme that basically Shanks would be totally than that to the percentage Luffy would be having that extreme depth feeling towards like Shanks because of Shanks giving up his arm for like Luffy to totally create that so like but since Luffy doesn't realize it, like the chance Luffy totally offers something like straight away Luffy will be giving chance like the compensate one straight away as chance to give things Luffy. It's definitely one of the emotion, but like the scenario that and Luffy totally something is like that person that asking of Shanks of like the company approach towards like Luffy should be totally shocking Luffy. Luffy would be like totally not expecting that and basically Luffy like would be like Luffy's mind would be like Luffy would be like initially think that they that initially would think that maybe he should give like the government own back to Shanks would be what like Luffy would be straight away initially on hearing that and Shanks asking back like the government straight away the first thing that would be coming into like Luffy's mind would be Luffy's like Shanks giving up his arm for Luffy like basically and all that like basically initially Luffy would be feeling that absolute uh, that feeling would be what like initially would be coming into Luffy's mind that really Shanks had basically saved Luffy by giving up his arm and all that. But then Luffy slowly realizing that basically so Shanks then that time was only after his like Gundam Probe like that was his own reason Shanks even gave up his arm and all that. Like Luffy realizing that and Luffy also realizing that like basically how like the Gundam Probe alone had basically it is why the government could doesn't allow Luffy to be able to like save him still like it was only due to like the government rule that basically even after like this entire time like Luffy was able to like protect all of his nakamas. Like Luffy basically realizing that and basically Luffy telling Shanks no. It's like the scenario that I'm looking at. No, he can't. Like like if he wants to keep his like Nakama protected, he needs his like government rule. That would be like what Luffy would be telling Shanks and at that point Shanks getting seriously that ultimate shock of like the scenario that I'm delivering times would expecting such a reply out of like Luffy. It's definitely one of the new generation. So like at that point like Shanks totally telling Luffy that like okay so like from now on the Shanks basically telling Luffy that like from now on like we are like rival emperor like basically and basically that I would be like getting back the month to like right hand Shanks saying something along the lines of like right now you are like thanks for the telling Luffy to like heal up and train hard and get strong because like eventually like I'm going to be coming after like the government force once you have recovered and once you are like ready once you feel ready, I will be back to get back the commercial and like Shanks just telling that and Shanks like leaving and along with like Bengal plans from like the land of Wano. It's like the scenario that I'm considering and solely due to like Shanks like not wanting to like fight off and forcefully try to like take the gun through from Luffy when Luffy is like totally exhausted. It's definitely my person to remember. So like and in my category of pressure that like Shanks might be like seriously more confident as well, thinking that so that like Gumbo considering maybe Shanks like even while realizing like the Gumbo throat is like maybe like Shanks will be like knowing that the Gumbo throat is like the strongest of the throat, but still considering Shanks might be thinking that basically still Luffy won't be still not having like the full access to the like Gumbo throat that basically Shanks maybe think that Shanks still might be strong up currently in like the process still might be strong up than Luffy. So like I'm considering Shanks possibly telling Luffy that basically let's decide this through like a fight. Like basically if I win, like you give me back like the gun throw. So like I'm considering Shanks telling this to like Luffy and Shanks totally telling Luffy to like rest up and heal up and we have that fight in like the future. And basically in that fight, like if I win, like you will have to give me back. If the red hair pirates win, then Luffy would have to like surrender like the governor for to me or that would be along the line chance of be telling Luffy and like if like Luffy and the Storehead Pirates wins like then Luffy can keep the governor for that chance only saying along the line along first line then Shanks decides extremely disappointed Shanks like even though he won't be showing it like Shanks will be extremely disappointed and Shanks and like Bengal Batman like totally heading back to his like a pirate ship is like the scenario that I'm looking right now and looking to Bengal. So like definitely my consider impression right now is also that basically when Shanks attacked like Rocky during like the new era characters that were displayed like the silhouette character and those different will be most likely Shanks' daughter. Definitely my consider impression. So I think like my consider impression that like people give that first girl from like the One Piece film but it's definitely my consider impression though I haven't seen the movie like I'm considering that will be definitely Shanks' daughter. So like I'm considering that silhouette character right now that just like displayed might have definitely been like the precise people that like among the precise people like Momonosuke as well as like Yori basically among the new generation or new era that Shanks would be seeing like especially Shanks' own daughter would be like Shanks someone that Shanks would be having like high expectations of taking like the new era forward. It's definitely into greatness, definitely my going to be emerging and hence like that silhouette character that Shanks daughter might definitely be Shanks' own daughter. It's definitely my going to be emerging. So like definitely I'm still sticking to my vegetarian direction that like Shanks will definitely still be like definitely right now itself like will be an academic lesson that man will be like entering into like the land of Wano through like Rocky View. It's definitely not the and Shanks will be asking to see like the approach to see refusing and Shanks declaring that basically eventually to have like a fight in like the future like for scenario that would decide who gets to keep the common food like that declaring that like Luffy and Shanks leave the land of Wano. And then after that like I'm considering it will be after like Shanks will be leaving like the land of Wano that I'm considering that certainly Momonosuke precisely remotely communicating with like precisely Zunisha and like Momonosuke falling out for Zunisha. It's like the scenario that I'm preparing for like Shanks leaving and like after like Shanks leaving like Zunisha showing up once again to like the land of Mana. And then I'm also only preparing like Momonosuke. So in like the presence of Luffy like basically Momonosuke falling Luffy together with like Momonosuke and basically then Luffy and also like totally being like surprised to see Zunisha so up and basically then Momonosuke in like would be like gathering up like the entirety of like the people of like the land of Wano in like the and basically then Momonosuke totally communicating and telling and giving like the order to like Zunisha to like open up the borders of like, the land of Wano and that's when I was bringing up like Zunisha using it like massive front like basically destroying like the like tall borders surrounding like the land of Wano and that way basically the actual that way actually that way like the rainwater contained within those borders like basically getting released and that way like basically the original land of Wano being released to like the entirety of like the people in like the land of Wano, new land of Wano that's like about the name of the country. Then considering like Luffy and Momonosuke like basically figuring out that Momonosuke it's like Momonosuke figuring out that Momonosuke's Pluton and basically uh, then Momonosuke also figuring that out through like the grave of the ancient ancestor of Momonosuke, which will be present in like that old land of Wano. Beneath, so definitely my personal understand. Then like after basically seeing the old land of Wano and like basically figuring out a bit about like the history of like the actual origin of the land of Wano, and basically like through Robin like them Luffy and through like and Momonosuke them all like figuring a lot out, and maybe at that point Luffy for like the first time sharing like the name Emu. It's like also like a possible scenario that I'm considering, and then I'm considering for and it will be only then after that like that I'm looking only putting Luffy and Rose telling that goodbye to like Momo and like the retainers like basically deciding to like train under like Kyobaro to learn a real, and basically like Momonosuke and the retainers like totally going to like Luffy to like get strong so that they will be able to like at least in like the future they will be able to like protect like the land of Wano from our enemies, like especially now with like the borders of like, the land of Wano being more like basically that way I'm just preferring like Lucy and the Straw Hat to leaving like the land of Wano. It's like the scenario that I'm going to think. So it will be like I'm just preferring it to be especially after Lucy and the Straw Hat crew will be like leaving the land of Wano, that I'm just preferring like the Blackbeard crew would be even showing up to like the land of Wano, like the scenario that I'm going to think. Or like I'm just preferring precisely around that time would be when like the Blackbeard stars would be like making their way towards like the land of Wano, but like right then them totally running into Shanks and like the red hair pirate is like the scenario that I'm going to bring. And Shanks totally telling uh, to Blackbeard that basically Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates have like basically left the land of Wano. It's been a long time since like they have already like left the land of Wano. Like Shanks basically somehow succeeding in like convincing Blackbeard of that, and basically like Blackbeard being extremely disappointed in himself for like being late to basically make it to like the land of Wano. Like and Blackbeard keeps on trusting to like Luffy when Luffy and the Straw Hat crew would be like far ahead and basically on their way to like the next tale, like the scenario that Zero Littering and the second